Thank you very much.
Please, have you shown it to all of them here?
Yes. One thing that I celebrated about
Please.
No, please.
Mr. Wabi.
So what we are saying is that we've actually.
Then the last number 9.
One contest presidential number.
behind this man, and I think that Ghana is a country where equality, equity, and empowerment should be aligned with the nation. Now, if you show discrimination in a place like EC, then it's not fair. We all went through an amount of work and process to be able to be qualified. Now, once we're qualified, you cannot put some aside and deal with some first and deal with some later. You cannot tell us that the last 4 who are independent will now choose out of 9 to 13. And if that's what the law is, I'd like the media to know that from now, the country will prepare for that. That any time we will walk into this place and we are independent candidates, then we're second-class citizens.
What we are saying is that this has been the convention. This is an administrative procedure by the commission. We have actually listened to what you are saying. So next time round, there will be an engagement, and then if there is the need for us to change it, then we will do it. But for now, this is the decision of the commission, and this has been the practice. Thank you.
Is going to have 1 to 9 written here. For transparency's sake and credibility's sake, I'm calling upon our administrative officer to sign at the back of each of them. Please take a pen and sign. When you sign, put it aside. Just put it there.
Jerry.
What you are doing, and you are here commenting and lamenting. This process has been there over years.
Jerry.
Allegations about please, you just
Address the chair. Jerry. Oh, please. The issue that you replace it. Let's go ahead.
No. They've examined it. You have done same. That's not all. I mean, the position regarding the transparency of the vote itself has to be taken into consideration. Because obviously, if somebody has, what's the name, a tip ahead, watching through, you can see it.
You can see the particular
end. So some opacity around
it.
If everybody is that.
Okay. So maybe.
And also, your officer in the small. Yeah. You have seen a bit here. Put your hands all over your pockets. Your hands are constantly hiding.
Changing the ball. Stop it.
I'm not going to break another number. Number 1.
Okay, please let's make some progress.
I say we will not use the ball, but we will another thing.
Please, we need to make progress. Sir,
in the name of transparency, and on account,
who cares whether you're here or not? This has already been the format.
Jerry.
Yeah, you tell him this has been the format. Whether he wants to stay or not is his problem.
Please.
My problem is you know this system, but you have you don't know. It's all right. Yeah, you have pretty much job. You know the system very well.
Dr. Erica, please, let's make progress quickly.
I think this is the first time coming to things like this.
so the 9 balls with the numbers in there.
This is the water that is coming from the pipe. In super ofi pipe muroba henenwa. The missy and it's still a put on how to go and see. Yeah, pipe on your go to mission or your pipe for no good. What's the pipe? Into why no one jagger and say you too, one jagger and say you too. Now, was say a pipe now, papa, and so you're no. Okay, I do a few more about. Hey, Razi, kind of fiancé is going to ever brew. In Baba, in soon even for the Yanum, in Sa, will treat to 5 more, or 5 more about.
Just this weekend, we had to go around and take this sample, and this is from the Pra River, and a lot of communities are drinking this water. At the time we were taking these samples, there were children who were happily swimming in this water, not knowing what it is. Now, previous speakers have spoken about turbidity. What it means is that the level of suspended particles in this water. It is not only that makes it polluted, but it's a concoction of chemicals, mercury and others. And in these rivers, the fishermen fishing can no more catch fish because all the fish are gone. So that is very, very important for us to take note. Maybe you may not be living around the Pra or around the Cobra, but can you guess where this one is coming from? It's coming from along the Brim, which is feeding our Wager Dam, which is the source for us here in Accra. So the water company will tell you they are not treating chemicals. All they are doing is sedimentation to get the particles to settle. So if it is clear, it doesn't mean it is clean. The water you are drinking, if it is clear, it doesn't mean it is clean. So for those of you who are asking questions that what is our agenda? Our agenda is for all of us sitting here. Our agenda is for you, the journalist, who opens your tap. If you are even depending on groundwater, you are not safe because they are also polluted. And most of our sachet water and others are depending on the groundwater. So you sitting down there, you are not safe. This is your fight. This affects you. Anytime you open your tap, remember and ask yourself, is this water clear? Enjoy the campaign. Thank you. Just this weekend, we had to go around and take this sample, and this is from the Pra River. And
what is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
If you reach a certain stage in life and there is nobody who can look you in the eye and tell you the truth, you are doomed. And that is where our country has gotten to. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi. And I feel very terrible as a Ghanaian at this time. This country is in serious trouble, ladies and gentlemen. We are in serious trouble. We need to rescue this country, ladies and gentlemen. The presidency has been so depraved, so muddied, so dirtied, that I tell you in all sincerity as a Ghanaian, that I feel terribly sad today as a Ghanaian. We need to rescue this country. Wallahi, inshallah.
Please don't cry.
We shall rescue our country.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type 1, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type 2. Type 2, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. We're live from the Penel studio here at North Ridge, and we're reaching you on other social media platforms as Metro TV Ghana and also on the Good Morning Ghana page. Follow us on channel 277 DSTV. It was a holiday edition of the program. And as you all know, we celebrated Dr. Kwame Nkrumah on the 21st of September. And so, of course, as has been the practice in this country, the holiday was shifted to today, which is the 23rd of September. So, most of the papers definitely will not come to the stands, but we still have headlines, and the development of a country goes on. So let me just share a few of the headlines with you. Democracy has failed to meet aspirations of many Ghanaians, and that is by the Speaker of Parliament, Alban Babing. Small-scale mining needs on-the-ground solutions to not just policies. Suleiman Kony is the one talking. Police initiate manhunt for Democratic Hub leader Oliver Barker-Vormawor. Others. Lead fight against Galamsey. Miracle Duka tells small-scale miners. NDC to meet CSOs, diplomats over voter register discrepancies. And that's happening today at the Kama Conference Center, 4 p.m. Metro TV will bring you some details of how the NDC decides to explain all the issues they have with the register to the public. Stop disrupting traffic and commuters. Police warns Democracy Hub protesters. Transparency, integrity can help rebuild public trust in leaders. National Peace Council. NDC celebrates 8th position on ballot, calls it a sign to end NPP's unparalleled corruption. Accra, police announce road blocks diversion for special operation. Only NPP EC against voter roll audits. Linsod asks, are they in rigging cahoots? We'll bring you also the full text of what the NPP is saying, their opinion on the ballot audit request that was put forward by the NDC. We'll be going into these issues when we come back from this break. I'll introduce the guests and then we'll start talking. Let's go for a quick breather.
She's coming. She's coming.
Oh, it's in. Red Hour seatbelt! Boss, let's go back.
Okay, here. Take this.
She's coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming. Oh. She's here.
Pay faster, pay safer, and pay easy with Momo app. Download now and pay with the QR code, merchant ID, and so much more.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The Pacho Bantama.
My chest.
That's a cycle.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we use Cal 360 toothpaste.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's here. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasan. Cal 360 did the way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling to when you know Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria been actually on my number, still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah, sorry. For rest of us, give us here and don't down.
But over that song, but for me to give us the and some down.
Give us about me, sir.
Me patron the and some down.
Customer. Give us that now.
Onuya kayo oba wa fa furo nom de o ma no banu fo nom akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso nom.
Now let me tell you why you should choose Safari Valley as your conference destination.
The new conference building combines modern amenities with the tranquility of nature, providing the perfect backdrop for your next seminar and corporate retreat.
The only conference destination with so many activities, you don't have to travel to visit your tennis club, the gym, or the stables. They have it all.
Enjoy this rooftop viewing deck, basking in the sunlight with the sight of wild animals roaming freely in their natural habitat.
At my break, I'm able to practice my putting.
It's a unique experience that sparks creativity and rejuvenates the mind.
Visit Safari Valley Eco Resort in Ghana, bringing you closer to nature.
Choose the perfect prize every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes. All to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
Welcome to Rehoboth Palms, Ayimensa, where your future home is taking shape. Discover a community like no other, designed for families and individuals seeking comfort and connection. Enjoy a host of amenities, including a swimming pool, tennis courts, kids playground, and serene sitting areas, all designed for your enjoyment. Embrace the opportunity to be part of this vibrant community with flexible installment plans available. Your dream home is waiting at Rehoboth Palms, Ayimensa, where every moment is a promise of home and affordable luxury. Visit us today at 145 North Legon, Accra. Call us on +233 244 764 499 or +233 204 950 810. For our UK clients, you can reach us on +44 190 853 3149 or +44 791 737 6631 or visit www.rehobothpropertiesgh.com to learn more. A community like no other. Welcome to Rehoboth Ayimensa.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you get an 8K. Get a packing from your pocket. Hey, wait.
You go put it on his tab. This is my man. Good luck.
We'll wait here. We are star 712 hash. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712 hash. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let me choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now, you need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and confirm. Now with the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. TNCs apply.
Using Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture, brought to you by Coa Research and Manufacturing Limited Company, proudly made in Ghana. Formulated to support your general well-being. For those seeking immune system support, there is Coa Plus Mixture. Support your body's defenses and stay strong. When it comes to combating malaria, Coa MT Mixture will aid your treatments. For effective relief from malaria symptoms, try Coa MT Mixture. Coa Mixture, Coa Plus Mixture, and Coa MT Mixture are not recommended for pregnant women, lactating mothers, and children under 12 years. Always take a malaria test before using Coa MT mixture. Choose Coa mixture, Coa Plus mixture, and Coa MT mixture for your health needs. Available now at pharmacies nationwide. For bulk purchases, contact 0244 726611 or 0591 565 778. This advert is
protest. At around 2 a.m. this morning, the police, through a press statement, signaled their intention to escalate the use of force against peaceful protesters and arrest those who have gathered to demand accountability in the fight against mining and environmental destruction. This announcement made in the dead of night represents a clear and deliberate attempt to intimidate and silence citizens exercising their constitutional right to assemble and protest. We condemn in the strongest terms this blatant attempt to weaponize the police force against the people of Ghana. The use of force against unarmed protesters goes against the principles of democracy and respect for human rights that our nation claims to uphold. It is particularly concerning that such intentions are being communicated without any indication to restraint, negotiation, and dialogue. Earlier today, our representatives wrote and made several calls demanding a meeting with the police to figure out a way to work collaboratively. They informed us they were not interested in dialogue. We wish to remind the Ghana Police Service and the government that their duty is to protect the rights and safety of all citizens.
Yes.
Not to suppress them.
Yes.
The decision to escalate violence against peaceful demonstrators is not only a violation of our constitutional freedoms, but also an affront to the democratic values upon which our nation was built. We demand the following: immediate cessation of the continuing use of unjustified force against protesters.
Yes.
The police must withdraw their statement and commit to de-escalating tensions. We urge them to engage in constructive dialogue with protest leaders to ensure that the rights and safety of all demonstrators are protected.
Yes.
Release all arrested protesters. The 15 individuals, including an 8-year-old child who was unlawfully arrested during the protest, must be released immediately and unconditionally. This continued detention is unacceptable and undermines the rule of law. I am the grandmother of Rose Safo, the 8-year-old child who was unjustly arrested. Myself and other granddaughter, 10 years old, were released. Why? I asked for social welfare. You couldn't provide. Rose is just a child, a little girl who should be playing, laughing, and 3
Remember, this is not the right thing you people are doing. I know it's not easy to do. I'm saying I'm for but Charlie.
Don't allow anybody to enter.
All right, so those are excerpts from the streets, and as the Democracy Hub members poured themselves onto the street to protest against issues of Galamsey, and obviously in the videos you saw that there was a clash between members and the police. The police has issued a statement for a manhunt after the leader of the Democracy Hub, Oliver Barker-Vormawor. So we'll be bringing you details of that later in the program. But this morning, Shamima Muslim is a member of the NDC communications team. She's joined us here in the studio. Shamima, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
I hope you're well.
I'm also a member of the Zongo Caucus.
Oh, you always say that.
Yes, because they always say that you people don't
call
say me. So please,
we're sidelining them.
Do the need
we're
for
sorry.
Proud member of the
Zongo
Caucus. And we're already out and about doing a lot of campaigning, connecting with our inner cities, our Zongo communities, to bring to them the good will and the good message of the NDC and His Excellency John Mahama.
I'll ask you something about the Zongo.
Yes,
just a moment. But let me introduce Dr. Ekia Amwako. She's also a member of the NPP communications team. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And it's your first time on the platform, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, right. So welcome.
Thank you.
And then maybe congrats for making it to the platform.
Thank you.
And we hope to have more and more information from you.
I'm sure.
As far as governance is concerned.
Yeah, and I'm sure we would have lovely conversations.
Thank you. Thank you for heeding to our invite. How's your campaign going as well?
It's going great. I mean, those of us in the MPP, we've always adopted the approach of hard work. So it's very evident in our campaign so far. Everybody is involved, all our sleeves are rolled up, and we are all doing the best we can to ensure that this country stays on the path of progress. Right.
Okay, so I wanted to ask Shamima a few issues about the Zongo, but let me just quickly do this one before I come back to her. Okay, I'm just trying to get my money-making. Right, okay. So what we have for you is that you get 10% off food, drinks, beauty, cosmetics, and home essentials, electrical appliances, mobile phones, and accessories, clothing, and footwear made in Ghana, goods, and so much more than more at the Momo cashless market. You heard, right? It's a Momo cashless market from 2 to 6 of October and Good Park, Tetakwashi Interchange. There will be over 100 merchants in one place with amazing discounts for all Momo customers. Fun activities include artist performances, DJs on rotation board, and TV games, kids zone, and giveaways. Join the fun at the Good Park Tetakwashi Interchange from the 2nd to the 6th of October 2024 each day, and then 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and just Momo everywhere you go. Anytime I look at that park, it's like I have a dream of what I want to do with that park. So I think MTN is making good use of that place, but we can do better as far as that particular area is concerned. Such a vantage point that we can, turn the place into a good beautification area that will make Accra look at least some circle better. So Kel 360 toothpaste is also available on the market, and if you want a toothpaste for the whole family, Kel 360 toothpaste is approved by the Food and Drugs Authority and provides your family with an all-round dental protection throughout the day with freshness. Kel 360 toothpaste is good for kids, children, and adults as well. Let your family be proud by constantly using Kel 360 toothpaste as they step out. And also, it's available on all supermarkets and malls and provision shops, provided or produced by Samara Company Limited, producers of Sasso. Reach them on 0246864798. Kel 360 toothpaste says happy smile. Shamima, let me, come back to you on Zongo.
Yes.
I think this election year is one of the election years I have not really heard so much about Zongos and the plan we have for them. Yes.
And then you have not been listening.
Well, maybe I'm not. I take it. Maybe I've not been listening. So you may want to have me here.
Right.
Exactly.
So good morning once again. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum to my community, my Muslim community, and then good morning, shalom to the entire Ghanaian society. Let me quickly start, Annie, by saying, sending my warmest felicitations to the rank and file of the NDC. Under the leadership of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama and his spouse, Lordina Mahama, Professor J. Nano Popo Ajiman, and all the national executives and every single member of the NDC who are out and about. What I have observed is for the past couple of weeks, a lot of the parliamentary candidates are launching their campaigns, and the work is actually begun earnestly, reaching every household, every corner, every market, every home, every individual with our message of rescue, of reset, of hope, and of a better tomorrow. What I just want to also add quickly is to congratulate Elik Plim Akurugu. Yesterday, she launched her campaign at the Dom Kwabenya Park in Dome. It was a very well-organized event. I mean, I was so impressed. It seems Dom Kwabenya is set to deliver an upset, and I'm looking forward to it. And I would just like to encourage everybody who lives in Dome Kwabenya constituency to give Elik Plim a chance. I mean, she has shown that she is truly committed to the constituency. She would not abandon the constituency and take the constituency for granted, just like the NPP and its previous parliamentary candidates in the past have done. The current MP is the son of a former Speaker of Parliament, a former MP of the area. And I spoke to a lot of people when I was going there, and their feeling is that it is not a family seat for a father to want to hand over to, a son in that constituency, especially when they have taken that constituency for granted. Dom Kwabenya is the largest in terms of numbers. When the votes come, they are huge numbers. And so we must all be interested in the outcome of the election in Dom Kwabenya. Unfortunately, there have been some issues. They have been resolved. I was very happy when I heard the national chairman of the NDC, His Excellency, let me add, Johnson Esiedu Nketia, yesterday indicate strongly that everyone who is willing and able to be part of the Dom Kwabenya campaign should come on board, and those who feel they don't want to come on board should let the party know immediately, so that we will take a decision and go with those who are willing. So again, to those spots, constituencies that have little problems, please let us remind ourselves of who we are as a party. We are a party we are a family indeed, and our motto tells us about unity, stability, and development. We must imbibe these values. These are the values that hold us together as a mass party, a party for the people of Ghana. So we must not allow individual differences to sabotage our collective, march towards victory. Victory is near. The stars are aligned in the favor of the NDC. Everything shows that the NDC is heading for victory come December 7th. We, the members of the party, must not allow any personal differences to cost us this victory. And that will not happen. I think the leaders of the party must work very decisively at uprooting all destructive elements within our fold so that we work together with who we have committed truly and only to the NDC. No individual is bigger than the NDC political party, and we must all realize that. The supreme interest of this party is paramount. The supreme interest of the Ghanaian, because the Ghanaians are waiting fervently for the NDC to come and reset this country from the doldrums that they find themselves. So I want to congratulate Eli Klim Akurugu for a very good showing yesterday. I was also around, last week I traveled to the Upper West region, coming back to your point, and I met a lot of inner city communities. I met our coordinators within the Zongo areas. We were at the launch of the West Central campaign for Rashid Pelpo. He's retaining, he's coming back. Everybody is on board. We traveled to Lambousier and to Hamlet specifically, where we worked with Professor Titus Bayo, who is set to take the seat for the NDC. The former member of parliament for the area was on board. He has pledged to throw his weight firmly behind Professor Titus Bayo. From there, we went to Abam Bagwin's constituency, Nadoli Kaleo constituency, and the MP there now is Anthony Suma, who is also set to retain the seat. So the Agenda 1111 for Upper West region is definitely on course, and there is a furore of excitement. But as you travel the length and breadth of this country, you come face to face with the stark reality of misgovernance. And that when we sit in Accra, when we sit on televisions and we argue amongst ourselves, the people who really bear the fullest brunt of the failures of this administration, the Nana Bawumia NPP administration, are the ordinary Ghanaians. The ordinary Ghanaians in our villages, in our towns, in our inner cities, the poverty levels, the deprivations, the hardships. These are resilient communities who, irrespective of the pain and hardship, always find a way out. They have lived with the land for the longest time. This year in the Upper West region, the dry spell is threatening to further push these communities into deeper vulnerabilities as a result of the non-responsiveness of the government to the challenge that was obvious, and we always act a little too late in the day. These are the people who are calling for change. They said they have tasted salt, they have tasted sugar, and they know that the NPP really came to deceive with platitudes and highfalutin promises, which have all collapsed on their force. This is the situation that we currently live. So, Napuhe Maminenimba Mina Ambiwang, Lambusie, Nadoli Kelio, Aning, West Central, and all the other constituencies I'm yet to visit. Your message in the end kutinete de wani to wanyanka balubu biebe, tell la bamenka yana swing John Dramani Mahama, Kulawa. Alada John Duku John Dramani Mahama, who are reset a country, Yamini Yanka MPP de me, Babamo, Nanado Bamo, Baumia Bamo, so Yada John Aduku, John Dramani Mahama, and name Professor Nana Jane. Yabarakan support Nyandu Kuti so far, and I thank them. I'm just thanking them for the feedback they've given and the commitment that they have given to us. I was going to ask you. Yes, basically.
Why you're selling us?
Yes. Well, I'm not selling you. So that is the brief message I shared. They asked us to bring the message back to His Excellency that they are looking forward to him resetting the economy. Regarding the Zongo communities, I want to broach a very sensitive matter. And pardon me if your sensibilities will be offended this morning. But I believe that this election is not about religion. This election is truly about who has the country at heart and who is better experienced to deliver us from the current crisis. I think what we are all agreed upon, even NDC, NPP, and every average Ghanaian, is that times are hard and that we are facing unprecedented, levels of hardships and vulnerabilities, and our economy hasn't done too well over the past 8 years, as promised by the NPP. This has led over 850,000 Ghanaians to fall into poverty and further increase the vulnerabilities of women, of young people, of persons with disability, of the aged. Even children have fallen into poverty, and streetism is also on the rise. These are the things that we agreed upon. We are also now agreed that we can't, for the stretch of any imagination, hand over back a country to those who, at the helm of affairs, have seen these unprecedented happenings. The levels of corruption, the erosion of state institutions, the stifling of freedom of expression, as Afrobarometer report tells us. Just over the weekend, we've seen how high-handed our security agencies, behave in the face of the expression of citizens' rights. These are the things we are agreed upon. And within these communities, we must rise above any religious sentiment. Any individual who wants to use the instruments of religion to deceive us, to vote for them, does not mean you well, respectfully. And I say this because the religion Islam is a peaceful and a just religion. It invites us to always be justice at all times. It will not invite us to reward wrongdoing, to reward corruption, to reward nepotism, to reward divisiveness. These are not the values of Islam. Now, I am an advocate for inclusion and representation. I have spoken a lot about why we as a country must reflect the diversity of our nation. And so I am not opposed or averse to any idea that someday in this country, every religious faith should ascribe to lead in different capacities. I am not averse to that. I am not averse that women should be able to rise and enjoy positions of influence, of power, of responsibility, because women are part citizens. But I am averse to any argument that vote for somebody only because the person is a Muslim. I am disappointed that I heard a video of one of our Muslim clerics. There are so many other videos of other Muslim clerics who tell us that we should look at who delivers the most development for the Muslim community, whether the person is a Muslim or a Christian. This cleric is saying that if we don't vote for a Muslim today, when again?
I think I see the video. But how did the Muslim community receive it?
They are very shocked.
They are shocked?
Yes. This weekend, I represented Mrs. Lodina Mahama at a conference in Swami, Kumasi, of the Islamic Muslim Mission. It was a women's conference. The energy, the feedback, I speak to ordinary people. You see, sometimes we cannot take the ordinary people for granted, because there is a deep sense of fairness and justice, and they understand these things. So they are not moved about these claims. Because why do you say that this is the only time a Muslim can become president? Mr. Bawumia is a member of the NPP. Nana Akufo-Addo contested the NPP primaries 3 times before he became president of Ghana. John Ejekum Kufuor contested the NPP primaries several times. Why do you feel that Bawumia will not have another opportunity to contest and win the NPP primaries? Why? Is the NPP just using him as decoy for something? Why would they be averse to a possibility of granting him another renewed, mandate, should he, and if he loses, which he will, this election? Why do you feel that this is the end all for Mr. Bawumia? And is Mr. Bawumia the only Muslim in the New Patriotic Party? Are we saying that other Muslims will never have another opportunity in the NPP party? If you believe so,
is a Muslim cleric.
Pardon? No, I'm saying that. So I'm responding to that because these are sentiments that are being re-echoed. So I said that, please pardon me, I don't want to offend your sensibilities. I'm just trying to be as very fair-minded as I can and objective to the issues. If the Muslim cleric is fearful that Dr. Bawumia will not get a renewed mandate again from the NPP to even come and contest a national election, then the Muslim community or the cleric should be worried. Because I'm telling you that the NPP has always given its presidential candidate renewed mandates. President Akufo-Addo contested primaries 3 good times. In his first time, at least 17 people contested with him. And he was able to go through. He's always been contested, and they always give him the opportunity. Kufuor experienced the same. Why would you think that Bawumia will not be given another chance as a Muslim? Not because he's competent and he's one of the most visible persons of the NPP. So that argument falls flat on its face. Right now, we are saying that the NPP has failed monumentally. Alhaji Bawumia is a member of the New Patriotic Party. We cannot trust that Alhaji Bawumia would come and do right by the people of Ghana by prosecuting members of his government who have been found wanting. We are in this country where ministers of state have hoarded colossal sums, over $1 million, and so many other millions of other currencies in their home. We are in this country where ministers of state try to buy state property, forcefully take state property. We are in this country where we have dug the largest hole with $58 million. Do you not think that people have to answer questions? Do we truly believe that Dr. Bawumia will be in a position to vet and audit an administration that he himself is a part of? If Dr. Bawumia wants to plead innocence, that he has no complicity at all in the doings and misdoings of this government, where he is the vice president and has also benefited materially from because of his position as a vice president, the second most important person of Ghana, if he believes he is not complicit at all, then he must be interested in taking a breather so that posterity would also speak well for him, just as that posterity has spoken loud and clear for His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. These are the thinkings that should go into our campaign, into our appreciation of the issues, and not just because somebody is Muslim. I am a Muslim, and I've just said that to you, but I am not going to support any Muslim or a Muslim just for the sake of supporting a Muslim, especially when there are major questions to answer about the NPP administration. We as clerics, we as members of the Muslim community, we know what true justice is. And even at the basic level, Islam preaches fellow feeling. Islam preaches fellow feeling. Islam does not enjoy fellow feeling. Just as you say that love your neighbor as yourself. It does not enjoin us to come into prominence, into influence, and use that prominence and influence to destroy businesses of Ghanaians, to frustrate other fellow Ghanaians. That is not what it teaches us. It teaches us to be kind to each other, to be fair to each other, to be just to each other. So I'd like to appeal again to my mothers, my fathers, my brothers and sisters in the Zongo community. Mr. Bawumia says that he has an opportunity to do 8 years. 8 years is not static. Once there is life, he has an opportunity to seek the mandate of the NPP again, consolidate his hold, and then remove himself from what we perceive to be his complicity in this government that he is the vice president of. For us to have true accountability, we must let the NPP go so that we will truly understand the nature and the extent of their misgovernance. We must not be seeking to reward failure. We must not be seeking to reward corruption. We must not be seeking to reward nepotism. We must not be seeking to reward divisiveness that has been the character of this administration, nor must we be seeking to reward arrogance, insensitivity, intransigence that have been the character and the conduct of members of this administration. To ask that we vote the NDC, to ask that we vote John Dramani Mahama, is not to ask us to do too much. It's to ask us to be on the side of Ghanaians, on the side of the truth, and do the right thing.
Right.
And just to add, concludingly, the part, you see, there is the difference between religion and there's a difference between politics. It is not good to mix both, even though all, influence and affect each other. Do you know why I say so? The NDC as a political party has done more for the people of our Zongo communities, the people of our inner cities, than the New Patriotic has ever done. And I'm saying that the NDC as a party is like a legacy, is like an inheritance to us. And when you have your inheritance, something that you own, something that you have legitimacy in, something that you are a bona fide member of, you don't leave that position on a parochial interest. You stay within your party and you exert your influence and you assert yourself and you demand the gains that you want within that family because you are a bona fide member. You're not going to join a New Patriotic Party that does not recognize you people. They haven't. They haven't for the longest time. And because the MPP is deeply rooted in what they call their tradition of Obadabeng, their tradition of Onewine, O Papa Newine, O Papa, O Mame Newine. Are you members, founding members of this party? Come and join the queue. They believe very much in that. We don't believe we are a mass party, we are a party of Congress. And that is why for the longest time, a lot of these strongholds of the NDC are what they are. Because I made a comment that in Volta region, and people wanted to take me. I said, I come from the Upper West region. J.J. Rawlings is not a Wala man. He's not a Dagomba man. He's not a Moshi man. He's not a Mamprisi man. So we couldn't have become members of the NDC because of tribal reasons or ethnic considerations. We couldn't have. It does not make sense. Just as, yes, in the Volta, you can say JJ was your son. But I'm sure that what the NDC did for the Volta region is what convinces many people in Volta to continue to be, strong members of the NDC. You can't compare that to the nature and the politicking of the New Patriotic Party.
Okay. Let me involve Ikia in the politics of the Zongo communities as well. I think she's touched on a sensitive matter for that reason, as far as this election is concerned, where you have, I've actually personally seen the video of one of their clerics talking about voting a Muslim and all that. Is that really something that feeds into your campaign?
No, I don't. So I saw that rightfully you tried to ask her who actually said that, and it didn't come from our party. One thing I do love and appreciate about the MPP is it's an absolute meritocracy. We are not presenting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because he's a Muslim. That's not what this is about. We are presenting Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because we trust in his vision. We've seen that he has been the most effective vice president in the history of our Fourth Republic, and we absolutely believe with everything in our being that he's going to be the man to lead us into the progress that we are seeking.
That meritocracy?
Of course.
But he's made comments where we've seen it on video, where he's telling a Muslim community that vote for me because I'm one of you. He himself.
The same way my dear sister Shamima here tried to say that the NDC has always been the home of the Muslims. I mean, when you go into a rally stage or a campaign and you're trying to connect with the base, it can be forgiven, isn't it? Let me just get back to what I was saying. I think it's quite obvious here that the widespread commendation that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has been receiving from the clergy, from the imams, from the traditional leaders is really getting under the skin of the NDC, is really rattling them. Because these are the people that live in the communities, they connect with people. As she said, they are mostly not in Accra. These are the people that receive people in the mosque almost every day for prayers. On Friday for their big prayers. They are receiving people whose kids have been trained through the Free SHS program. They are receiving people who are benefiting from our NHI and a lot of other things we've done. They are people who, in their where they live, roads have been built, bridges have been built, so they are seeing the good works that have been done by this government, aided by Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, and that is why I believe they are commending him. And to try and detract that by trying to go on a tribal line, I try to be a student of religion, so I may know a few things that have been in the Quran. And Surah Al-Tabra, if I don't pronounce it right, please forgive me. The believers, men and women, are allies of one another. So if you are going along the tangent of telling the people in the Muslim communities that the NDC has always been their home, then the Quran has a more superior message for them. To sit here and talk about unprecedented corruption, nepotism, and just use big words without giving us proof of it has become something that is very characteristic of the NDC. They are unable to campaign on their past record. What is interesting is that the candidate they are presenting now, ex-President Mahama, has been in government before. We have seen him operate for 4 years. So we know exactly what he was about. Why is he not talking about his record then? The campaign of the NDC has become devoid of ideas. You don't hear them talk about what they plan to do. They are only always complaining about issues. We agree that there's a global economic problem. I don't think anybody can sit here and say that it's an isolated incident like it was during Mr. Mahama's time. And things are being done to correct these challenges so that we can all move out of it. I wish when these things happen, we addressed it collectively as Ghanaians, but in the political landscape that we have, it is understandable that things are taken this way. Last Friday, or was it Saturday, I saw a report from the Ghana Statistical Service that was picked up by Reuters on how the Ghanaian economy in the last quarter has grown faster than projected. It has grown about 6.9%. These are signs that the things we put in place to get out of the tough times that we all went through are yielding products. So instead of our opponents to talk about these issues and talk about how they are going to help elevate us further out of these, they've descended into the politics of religion and whatnot, which to me I don't find very relevant. If you want to even go on that tangent, she said...
You say they've descended into the politics of religion.
We sat here, you asked about what was done in the Zongo communities. I didn't hear my elder sister here say anything about what concretely was done. Was it? It just went about meandering about how NDC has always been for Muslims, and even on that, I don't see how. To me, looking at the back, I could say that the NDC has always used my Muslim brothers and sisters for the lower jobs, if I'm allowed to say that.
You're not allowed to.
In contrast, the NPP has always presented, since the Fourth Republic started, we've always presented a Christian Muslim tickets to balance things out. So if you are looking at it objectively, we've shown a greater commitment to our Muslim brothers and sisters. And we elected Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, not because, as I said earlier, not because he's a Muslim, but absolutely based on merits. The fact that he was a Muslim was an added bonus. We were here when leading members of the NDC said it will never happen. Oh, the MPP would never give the nod to Dr. And he has been given the nod, and he has the full backing of everybody. Even people he contested with in the primaries are with him now campaigning. And he's done a lot for the Zongo communities. We have a whole book It's not green book kind of things. Projects that are visible that you can see that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia has undertaken in the Zongo communities. I think the next time I come, I'll bring it. Like, lots of things in the green book that are supposed to be completed. You go and then it's not even completed. They even put the government hospital Aferi and Sewa there. How many years ago was this green book done? Up till now, the hospital is yet to be. We are about to commission it soon. So that's what I mean. These things that we are talking about, the book that I'll bring to you, has projects that are being used now, like the rehabilitation of the Kumasi Central Mosque, the Yendi Mosque. No, it was done even by a benefit. It wasn't done by the party, by an independent person who, went around. Yes, and I'll bring it to you. Just on what has been done. Yes, just on what has been done in the Zongo communities. As I was talking about the rehabilitation of the mosque, the Kumasi Central Mosque, the Yendi Central Mosque, the Astro Test in Wale Wale, with 40 Zongo youths in Cuba with scholarships. That project has been undertaken. An ICT center in Bolgatanga. And again, please forgive me if I don't get the pronunciations right. A craft center has been done in Savnarigo. Yes. 6 unit classroom blocks in Toulon, Ameria Islamic in Tamale, and on and on and on. So this is showing working. This is a man who knows what he's about. This is a man who has not forgotten his roots. Indeed, he was not brought on or he was not selected because of his religion, because of what he brings to the table. And he hasn't forgotten about his people and left them behind by always going back and then doing more for them. Besides the commitments that the NPP in general...
Of making the Zongo communities villager.
A lot of improvements have been made in the Zongo community.
Towards attaining the villager dream.
I don't know who said that, so it will be difficult for me to speak to that. What I can say is the progress that has been made in these Zongo communities. In the Zongo community in my own constituency, Moshi Zongo in Kumasi, all the roads there have been tarred, including the inner city roads. These are what we are talking about.
Zongo communities where?
In Moshi Zongo, Ashanti region, Kumasi. The last time I went home and I used that road, it has been fixed. So this is what we are talking about, helping them. If you fix the road, it's going to promote economic activity. And this is, these are things that didn't exist. We are not taking them for granted like our opponents have over the years. They just go and expect that they are going to get the Zongo vote. This time it's not going to be like that. Their eyes have been opened. When their brother is given an opportunity, I'm sure they are very confident that more will be done. So to sit here and talk about corruption and whatnot, when it is your candidate that is undisputed, has been proven by 3 different international agencies to have been implicated in a corruption scandal,
I find that repeat that.
Laughable.
Because I don't think you want to read that. Which record?
That is on record.
Anyway,
do you want us to look at the Special Prosecutor's report? It is there clearly on this issue of Airbus. It is there clearly what the U.S. government conclusions they came to after the investigation, what the Special Crime Office of the UK came to after their investigation, and in Europe as well. And fines were paid. So, and even after Kissia Jabin's whitewashing, he came to the... He came to the conclusion.
This is how they erode institutions.
He came to the conclusion that government official number 1 that we had been discussing as well is John Mahama. So to sit here with allegations of corruption, yes.
Kissia Jabin what? Whitewashing?
Kissia Jabin's report, that's not what we are here to discuss.
But it will be unfair for you to describe his report as whitewashing.
Okay, so if you want us to go, you want me to prove why I said that?
No, I don't want you to prove. I don't have any evidence to call
we
that
can go into the report himself. Okay, he said he didn't get enough support, so he is even there. He said he didn't get enough support from these international agencies, so basically we cannot. He used a particular word which I unfortunately cannot remember. Basically, he didn't get enough support, so it's not exhaustive, if I can translate it loosely. But what we can take from that report is that in the US, in the UK, and in Europe, all these governments...
Can you quote the conclusion of
I'll find it for you as we go on. When we are done with this, I will find what he said and then I'll show you. In the conclusion of that report, he did say Mr. Mahama was government official number 1. Is that true or false?
In the conclusion?
No, at the end of the report, he did say that. Or are we trying to dispute that he did not accept the fact that Mr. Mahama was government official number 1?
Identifying name tags of persons implicated in the scandal.
Okay.
I mean, for want of better expression.
Yes.
And then his conclusion is that he finds no wrong with the person
I
in
am
question.
talking about his conclusion about the identities of the people listed in the
That
report.
That was not the conclusion of the report.
No, okay.
That
So I'm
was-
talking
that
about his
was the
description
report and
of
his
the people
descriptions.
that
Yes.
were listed
Yes.
in this.
And then he
So-
concluded on the report. So what was the conclusion?
Okay, so even if we are going on the back of that, he said the special prosecutor, Kisia Jabeng, is the prosecutor as it is in his name. He's not a court of law. So we are taking his recommendations or what he was able to deduce after his investigation. And what he did deduce after that investigation was the fact that 3 international investigative bodies came to the conclusion that government official number 1 was implicated in a bribery scandal. There's no such thing against Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. So for the NDC to sit here and spill out allegations of corruption without any evidence is not very fair. When in their own house, it is clear, it is documented, all you need to do is take out your phone now and Google, and that report is there. And you can read it yourself and come to your own conclusions. At the end of that, what you are saying, I shouldn't say the conclusion, that's fine. At the end of that, where
I'm not saying...
Yeah, where he
I'm
says,
not-
where
I'm not
he
saying-
confirms the identity...
No, I'm not telling you what to say. I'm just asking you to put it in the right perspective.
Okay, so I'm doing that for you now. Where he unveils the identity of each person, it is there, live and colored, that government official number 1 is ex-President Mahama. When this whole thing started, on the issue of arrogance as well, we are going to segue into that. When this whole issue started, and Martin Amidu, the previous special prosecutor, said Mahama was government official number 1, a lot of insults were thrown his way, even by the President Mahama himself, and I will quickly find you what he said. So to say arrogance of power and all of that against one person that the whole country agrees is a very humble politician is not being very fair to us. So another really beautiful thing I saw today, moving away from the politics of religion, because it's very important that we are united as a people. It is, it's very important that we are united as a people. Christians, Muslims, we are all Ghanaians, we are all one people. And as certain people believe, we even are all serving one God. What I found really beautiful is that over the weekend, Dr. Bawumia was in the central region, Esikuma, in a Catholic church, and the reception that he received from them. This shows the acceptance by everybody. Like nobody is looking at Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia as just a Muslim. We are looking at his caliber, his record, and the passion this man has for making Ghana a better place. And that's what is important, not the fact that he's a Muslim and the NPP may or might not give him another nod if he loses. That's our problem, and we'll deal with it. And I'm very confident that we are going to win this election in December 7th, so there'll not even be a need for that.
Can I just add a few things?
She can go on.
Shamima,
yes.
You want to add what? Because if you come in, I'll let her rebut.
Oh, if she has to rebut, no problem.
I'll give you 2 minutes. I need to go for a break.
Okay. What I just wanted to add quickly is that let us not be deceived. Nobody introduced religious politics other than the New Patriotic Party and their Muslim candidates. You have the reports to show for them. Who is the Muslim candidate on the ticket? Is it the NDC candidate? It's not. That's why I said that I don't want to offend, because they are sensitive matters and we shouldn't be invited into this kind of conversation. It is Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia, it is the NPP who go into the Muslim communities and tell them that for the first time you should vote to have a Muslim president. It is a Muslim cleric who is telling people that they should vote for him because he's a Muslim. And this may be the last time. That is what we don't want. If you are talking about Muslim, you don't know that John Muhammad's mother was a Muslim. A devout Muslim at that. Or they don't even know that Mahamudu Bawumia's father was a founding member of the NDC. Did they not know that? I'm sure my sister doesn't know that. So please, nobody, let me just clarify strongly that the religious politics has been introduced by the New Patriotic Party, and they know it. Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia goes to visit, and don't mix Zongo communities with Northern region. Projects that you may have in the Northern regions are not necessarily Zongo projects. Zongo communities are across you know, every region has Zongo communities, so that's how broad it is. And he went to the northern region and told the chiefs that we are going to have 2 Northerners on the ballot. And this is the only time he can do 8 times. So they should vote for him because he will be able to go at least 2 terms. But if they voted for John, he can do only 4-year term. I've gone to Fulani communities are coming to tell us that the second lady comes to tell them that they should vote for her husband because they are going to have a Fulani second lady. These are not things we should be promoting, but this is what is happening on the ground. You cannot pretend not to know that these are the conversations. And if you're going there saying these things, we need to respond so that our people will know that these are not the considerations that must determine who comes and becomes a president. In fact, we want you to base the argument on competence and not very tribal religious lines. So let's avoid the religious conversations. She speaks about corruption. The special, and you know, she mentions Martin Amidu's name. Martin Amidu, the first special prosecutor, upon his exit, wrote a long treatise. You know what he concluded? He told us that the mother serpent of corruption is President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. I didn't say it. She brought Martin Amidu into this conversation. The special prosecutor, Kizi Ajaben, said he found no wrongdoing on the side of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. You've been in power for 8 years. If you have any evidence, contrived the lies, the narratives that you used to win the mandate, which has now been exposed, why haven't you done anything about it? And I always tell people that I'll take a president who, under his watch, can prosecute members of his administration than a president who has been dubbed as a clearing agent of corruption, clearing every member of his administration that has been found embroiled in any scandal. And she's forgotten their scandals. Let me remind her of their scandals. Let me remind her of the COVID-19 funds that they will account for. Let me remind her about the SML scandal, the Ejapa scandal, the MartSet scandal, PDS scandal, the SkyTrain scandal, the Pralugu Dam that has also swallowed over 10 million Ghana cedis, which is still there and is not a dam. Let me remind her of the appearance fee scandal, the ambulance spare parts scandal that involves the children of the president of Ghana, and the sole source cocoa contracts that involves the direct brother of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Let us not pretend that we are not aware of these things that have happened, are continuing to happen. A minister of state holding monies in her account, and the president writes a Dear Cecilia letter to them. If she's talking about the economy, which economy is she talking about?
Dr. Bawumia has told you that he will prefer being referred to as a liar than government official one. So she is right.
It is his choice.
Yes.
It is his choice.
Yes.
Because government official one has been cleared of any wrongdoing. That is an evidence. That is factual. Please, can I just wrap up, please? Even if you take my time, okay? Let me just wrap up. She speaks about the economy rebounding. Which economy are they talking about? The economy that is bankrupt, the economy that they have sent into a debt exchange program, the economy that they are not paying any bills, the economy that in 2022 debt to GDP ratio rose to 104%, the economy that they themselves are telling us that, oh, these 742 billion is our public debt. We should not think that it is just expenses, but it is forex losses. Who is in charge of managing the macroeconomy economy or microeconomy? Are they not in charge? Is Alhaji Bawumia not the head of the economic management, unit? So what are they talking about? You are not paying your debt. You have taken money literally from people's mouths. You have eroded people's investment. What is the state of your money, Annie? What is your state of your savings, your incomes, your expenditure? You come and tell us that things are getting better. Perhaps
They are getting better for you and your family members and your friends because you have stolen Ghana's money and you're holding them in your homes and you're trying to launder this money by building up all kinds of commercial properties. Let me tell you what we did for our Zongo communities and our Muslim
to get unfair because
the NDC is the political party that came in with the 1992 constitution. The NDC is the political party that enrolled the GET Fund. The GET Fund is one of the biggest social interventions that uplifted the face of our northern and our Muslim and our inner city communities. The number of e-blocks that were built in these communities are there for evidence and for reference. Hospitals in communities hitherto not connected, the rural electrification program that expanded access to light, and light expands access to commerce and also allows children to learn in a dignified manner. Those were the works of the NDC.
Right.
The recognition of Muslims as bona fide members of the society by the granting of a holiday, just as our Christian brothers enjoyed Easter, Christmas, NDC granted the Muslim community 8 holidays. And His Excellency John Mahama has promised to add an additional holiday for at least the Eid al-Fitr celebrations. This is the man we are talking about. A man who is so committed because he has brothers and sisters and family members who are equally Muslims. We shouldn't be having this conversation because development must reach every corner of this country.
Regardless of religion.
Regardless of who you are.
Let me allow it.
Yeah, we didn't start this issue about religion or whatever. My dear sister here wanted to use this opportunity to rebut her own clerics who have come out of their own free will. This is not an MPP person that said this. You said earlier that it was a Muslim cleric.
About what
and
you
then
hear.
it is not false that Dr. Bawumia is a Muslim, is it? It is not false that if he's elected December 7th, he will be the first Muslim president.
Who says
it's not a lie. So what is wrong if it is brought to the attention of people?
Oh, okay.
So
you mean what's wrong if it's highlighted?
Yeah,
but you're just telling us that you're not playing that politics.
No,
so
I
why are you
didn't
playing
start
that
this
politics?
conversation on that. I was never going to go on that tangent. But if you bring it in and try and equalize and say that the NDC has always been the Muslim party and whatnot, then you open the door.
Since you've used the word meritocracy, I do not expect you to.
I
do not expect you to support the attempts.
So I think you are getting me wrong here. So let me correct myself here. You don't hear us on our main campaign platform talking about Dr. Bawumia's religion. It's neither here nor there for us. He was voted because based on merit. It just so happens that he is a Muslim. It just so happens that on December 7th, if he is elected, he will be the first Muslim president, inshallah. It is not the general secretary of my party that said that Muslims can't be president. It is not. We are not the ones that said it. It's the head dear NDC that said that. So it's on record. Who has a more arrogant posture towards the Muslim community? It is clear. Yes. The projects I listed, I was not confusing Zongo communities with the northern. I don't know if you were listening properly. I mentioned Kumasi Moshi Zongo. I mentioned the Kumasi Central Mosque. It is widespread and it is everywhere. These people are happy with what they are saying. Rubbing you the wrong way. I mean, come on. What you are supposed to do here is come up and tell us what you have done. You are talking about widespread products like Get Fund and whatnot. Then Free SHS has also helped a lot of people, more than your Get Fund. You are talking about e-blocks that you were only able to complete 22. So this, all the conversations that are going on here are neither here nor there for me. Yes, I have the Get Fund report here. So if we want to go on, we can look for it. I can show it to you right now.
So across the country,
yes, 22 that were completed. No, under the NDC, it is right here. Give me a second and I will show it to you. The difference here is there are lots of facts. I'm not going to sit here and give you broad words and broad analogies. Everything I say, I can show to you that it has been done and it is there. You only did 22 e-blocks, and if you think that is an achievement, then I think that's mediocrity at its highest. So in the 22 e-blocks across the country, how many people have been in Zongo communities? We are contrasting this with a man who has personally, using his own person, you can say that he's a vice president. Yes, using his own office of the vice president to build schools for these communities. That's what we are talking about. And if Mr. Mohammed's mother is we're not talking about the links. If you want to look at it that way, then we've always had a Muslim vice president. But I don't even think these are the kinds of conversations we should be having. And she was also disputing the fact.
Remind your candidate.
She was also disputing the fact that the Ghana Statistical Survey has said the economy is growing. We cannot sit here and be oblivious to the fact that it's an issue happened, something happened. Even when you read the IMF reports, it talks about exacerbation of COVID and then later Russia, Ukraine coming to make it worse. I know Ghanaians don't like hearing it at all, but it doesn't make that less true. And they don't like whenever you say everybody's like, but these are things that happened. And what we are saying now is because of the things we all had to tighten our belts, and we appreciate the support we got from the Ghanaian people from that. What we are saying is that today,
why is Ghana worse off than Ivory Coast?
How are we worse off than Ivory Coast?
Have you checked the economic stats?
Which of the statistics are you going to use? Did you see that they were also complaining about a cost of living crisis? When we're complaining about tomatoes, they were also complaining about tomatoes, and I'll find time to find you the video. What we are discussing right now is the growth that this economy is seeing now. We're not here discussing Ivory Coast, so you can tell me.
If you make references to that, then I'll ask you a question.
I made references to a general situation, like in Nigeria. So if you want
the globe,
you want to compare us to Ivory Coast. What about Nigeria? What about Kenya? These people, Nigeria is actually performing worse than we are right now. And what we are trying to say is that after all of this, we are seeing signs of recovery. The Ghana Statistical Service, even Bloomberg has picked on the report that the Ghana Statistical Service did, because the growth is unprecedented. It's not what they projected. So these are the things we need to see. We need to bring back investor confidence. This whole attitude of the NDC of always painting a gloom picture, painting a picture of gloom just because they are desperate for power, is against the good of all of us. We are looking to revive investor confidence so that we can get back on our feet. Something has happened. I mean, my people like to say, Asemba Aya Nyabotere. This is what we are talking about. Something has happened. We are trying to get out of it. And so now we are telling you that we have experienced a growth in the last quarter of almost 7%, and you want us to rubbish it. No. So we are not the people that are going to accept that kind of thing. We are going to continue doing what we are doing because we are moving forward. We accept that things have happened and things have gone wrong. But what are we doing in spite of that? How you measure a leader really is what happens when everything goes down into the gutters, how they handle things. Are these people, is this a person who, when things are rough, is going to put a freeze on public sector employment? Is this the person who is going to let teachers work for 1 year and say, I'll pay you for 3 months? Is this the person who is going to let house officers work for 11 months and not pay them in the time of crisis? Or is it the person where in the time of crisis he has tried to increase salaries to make sure that, you know, your small nokofio, you can have it to be able to survive. We are not putting a freeze on your salaries. We are building roads so that at least, you know, there's a little comfortability. These are the things we are talking about. And then earlier on, she was talking about how Domi Kwabena is not an inheritance. Another thing I found a little strange. I mean, didn't we have it was a very open democratic election where the incumbent was unseated for Ambassador Michael Kwe. So you can't say that his father gave it to him. If his father gave it to him, then Honorable Ajasafu wouldn't have been there for that period of time. And I hear something...
And it's not actually the first time of Michael Kwe. He has gone through.
Yes, he has gone. It's something that he has obviously fought for. So if he gets it, again, on pure merit, it's becoming something that's almost symbolic of the NDC. Somebody goes, you know, suffers, really goes through the mill to try and do something, and they try to belittle it. The same way we are sitting here trying to make it seem like Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia was giving the nod because he's a Muslim. It is neither here nor there. It is besides the fact. It is because of his vision. It is because this is a man everybody can trust. It is because this is a humble leader that is relatable. Have you seen the way the people are accepting him when he goes on this, the community connects that we are now calling them? The people are, because this is a man that will come and engage you. And you know, when you are actually, it's like there's a literal glow. Because this is a very open person. This is why we love Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, not because he's a Muslim. That's, you know, that's what I'm trying to talk about. And Wutu Senya constituency for them, I think this is one of their party seats. You've given the seats to a family member of Hannah Tete. We are not talking about that, are we? So we in the MPP, it's not like that. You come, you can have your, she was talking about how they say, and you know, basically you just came and who is your father and is your mother a founding member, all of that. If you come and your father is a founding member, your mother is a founding member, and you do not justify your inclusion, you will not go anywhere. Let me tell everybody here that in the MPP, what is rewarded is hard work and loyalty. So if anybody is coming in and looking to join, let me tell you that you have to roll up your sleeves and work. It is not, you are not going to inherit it. Or Michael Quay would not have suffered the way he did to get the Dome Kwabenya seat. You said to keep it short, so I think. Okay. So
I didn't want to short-change you, so I wanted to wait until you're done. Yeah. Right, but Sir Obama says that.
What MPP is.
Sir Obama says, what's the poor mischief Shamima has started? Professor Michael Quay was an MP for Dome Kwabenya for just 2 terms, 2004, 2008, and 2008 to 2012. Adwoa Safo then took over from 2012 till date. How does Michael Quay Jr. contesting the seat in 2024 around this family dynasty claims by Shamima? That Shamima is making, she should come again. Again, GMG is strictly an English-speaking program. Why have you allowed her to speak Wala? Is that Wala you are speaking? Shamima, was it Wala?
It's Wale.
Wale. Okay, Wale. Wale, perhaps.
So if you are English
speaking,
we can't speak.
Texting you via my native Ekwapimchi.
You can text, she'll read.
So Obama, please text me in Ekwapimchi, I'll read gladly. But I mean, let's not be too stuck on English language and all that. Yes, it's an English program, but anybody can chip in here and there once in a while, and it's allowed. And once you finish and you can give us the interpretation within the English language, why not? So please, let's not be too stuck in our minds of this English language thingy. Anyway, Gabby, good morning to you. And she says that Hannah Tete's sister contested for primaries, and was it given to her because she's Hannah Tete's sister? Let's be serious. So that's her also, you know, coming through with the argument. Can you?
Yeah, Equia can, you know, misinform the public. She should Google and see. Your former education minister,
so Bridget,
even himself agreed that 46 schools were completed and over 30 and were operationalized.
Okay, that's why you're on the platform.
Know that, right?
So Bridget says that. Can you?
So let's not lie about these things.
Okay, I think I will capture this later. But good morning, Annie. I'm so elated this morning watching and listening to Madam Shamima. In fact, she's made my day. She should consider being the next MP for Wa Central if she hasn't already thought of that.
People.
I think she has
all
that it takes to make the difference. There's an MP there, so don't be, you know. Anyway, Sam from East Legon is the one that sent in. Sam, thank you. Good morning to you. Chumbuafo says that, Anabia, I'm going to have fun today. To have the ace interviewer to be interviewed today on the show. Good morning to Shamima. Equia, as someone finally jumps off Twitter to validate her effusions. Okay, so sorry, Equia, but you don't have honeymoon. The Bible enjoins us to have only the honeymoon on our lifetime. And is that all possible? I'm not getting the sense, but Equia, do you just say MPP is a meritocracy? If this wasn't ridiculous, I would laugh. Between Alan Chemating and Bawumia, who had merit in the MPP, at the time Bawumia was selected as VP, was he even a party member? Was Alan Chemating not a founding member of the MPP when it was formed in the late Stephen Krekway's house? If you want to know about Bawumia's real status in the MPP, go and listen to Kennedy Japan during the primaries and stop. Okay, GMG. Okay. Could I get your point?
But that buttresses my point. If you are saying that Mr. Alan Chemating, who was a founding member, it was a democratic process. I don't understand when people go on this tangent. And this in MPP,
he's going on a tangent of meritocracy.
There is no inheritance. So
no,
yes,
he's going on a tangent of meritocracy. If there's anybody that merits, he's trying to tell you that
based on what I'm expecting him to do. There are so many delegates in the MPP. So many. we all had the opportunity to decide who we wanted.
Okay.
That is what a meritocracy means. He won fair and square.
Okay.
They didn't give it to Mr. Alan Kyerematen, the Honorable Alan Kyerematen, because he's a founding member.
Okay.
That's what a meritocracy is.
Okay, so Louisa sends a video of another Muslim cleric, making statements about religious statement. So it says, and this is another Muslim cleric who is talking about the politics of religion is bad. NDC has policies cut out for the Zongo community, dubbed Zongo and Inner City Development, with 17 policies. How many policies do they have for the Zongo community? In 2016, the 2020 manifesto, MPP promised model schools in the Zongo communities. It was only Zongo policy in their manifesto. Where are the schools, you say? All right, let me just, I'll just take a quick breather. Yeah, I'll be back shortly, and then we will continue on the issue of the Electoral Commission matters arising. The NDC says it's holding a presser today, but it actually is based on meeting CSOs and journalists to brief us about the issues that they've raised with the Electoral Commission. Last week, the balloting was done, numbers were picked. I want to assume that all the political parties are satisfied with the numbers that they picked. We'll be back shortly.
She's coming. She's coming!
Oh, it's in.
Red Hour is in now!
Boss, let's go back.
Here, take this.
She's coming.
I know. Go to the pharmacy now.
She's coming! Oh. She's here.
Pay faster, pay safer, and pay easy with Momo app. Download now and pay with the QR code, merchant ID, and so much more.
Experience the enhanced protection of Star Motor Third Party Extra from Star Assurance, an enhanced motor third party insurance policy that provides cover for loss or damage to your vehicle's windscreens, side mirrors, back glass, and other glass components. Whether it's a crack or major damage, you can drive with the assurance that your vehicle is well protected. Our commitment to you includes affordable coverage options and a claims process that is both fast and straightforward, so you spend less time dealing with paperwork and more time on the road. Also, we have proudly partnered with Hope for Little Lives, an organization dedicated to supporting children in need. By choosing Star Motor Third Party Extra, you're protecting your vehicle and making a positive impact. Every policy you buy helps bring joy and support to children in underserved communities. Reach out to us now on our toll-free numbers 0800-177-177 or 0302-245-906 to sign up. Let us help you drive with peace of mind and purpose. Star Motor Third Party Extra. Drive with confidence, give back with heart.
Star Assurance, your solid partner.
Choose the perfect prize for you every week and stand to win your choice of exciting prizes, all to get more of what matters to you. Exclusive to Betway. Betway, get way more. Terms and conditions apply. Regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. No under 18.
In today's modern world, stairs are a challenge, especially for our elderly and those with health concerns. Navigating them can be difficult and even dangerous, but there's a safer way to move vertically. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, your answer to a more accessible and secure vertical transportation. Our elevators and escalators, including top-of-the-line pneumatic vacuum elevators, Fuji elevators and escalators, offer a safer and more convenient alternative, eliminating the risks of stairs and enhancing accessibility for homes, businesses, and hospitals. Choose safety and convenience with Lifts and Elevators Limited Company. Elevate your spaces today. For more information, visit our website at www.elevatorsgh.org or call now on 0200-535-515. Lifts and Elevators Limited Company, the elevator people.
Cratchy, unemu bua unkoisha Dr. Ban uye denwa.
Oh, Mr. Yamfani ko mami buru wa. Ayi mami do buru. Do ni atele be ko. Bra, mumi yamfani ko Dr. Ban ho. Dr. Ban o ya de. Bra, se bonu no mpemu adwuma sasabro fro Dr. Ban o ye.
Sorry, me ko na meka. Oh, no mpemu nimdi ono na ye expert nya zanfo no. O akra eni kumasi no mpemu expert yen kan kire o.
The luckiest.
Star 712 hash.
Luck is everywhere.
8K. Hey, you can get 8K. Get back packing from your command. One line. Hey, wait.
You can put it on his tab. This is my man.
Good luck. Hey, yo. We'll wait here. We have star 712. Put your phone. I'm on dialing the magic numbers. Star 712. Now welcome to the luckiest. And now with me at home ticket. You can buy for yourself or your loved one.
Mommy, tell mommy who's here.
You're buying for me, right?
Or who else?
Oh.
Let me choose buy tickets for others.
Love you, boo boo.
Maybe straight to option 4. Now we tell her. You need to buy tickets worth 50 Ghana to qualify. Yes, you can buy random or preferred tickets. I'm choosing random tickets. Listen, if you buy the random ticket, the system chooses a random number for you. But if you buy the preferred, you get to input your own preferred 5 digits. 5.
Baby, give me your 5 numbers.
And how much are we buying?
Babe, look at the body and buy you.
With your body,
Hey,
there are. Tread cautiously. Now follow the prompts and prepare. Now the luckiest.
The luckiest is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas platform, not for persons below 18 years. T&Cs apply.
Hello, my name is Roland Walker. I'm here at Coastal Park. It's one of the many courts belonging to estate masters, and they are into service plots, property management, and luxury homes. And just in case you want to make that decision to invest into a landed property, estate masters is the right choice to make. If it is from an indenture, a site plan, you want it also barcoded, all is available. You might have heard about Chocoli. It's where we have the next cottage of estate masters. It is not only one of the thriving, but the most inviting landed property site for you also to invest in. We encourage you, do invest in the next cottage at Chocoli. It is just close to the yet to be demarcated airport. That also will be a valuable property for you to invest in.
Unnecessary pushbacks. And then we Welcome back to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. I'm still in the studio with Shamima Muslim, a member of the NDC team and a member of the Zongo community. No? Caucus.
Director for Zongo Caucus.
Are you the Deputy Communications Director?
Yes, for Zongo Caucus.
For the Zongo Caucus, okay. Dr.
Which is a new directorate.
Yeah.
It's a new directorate and recognized as a directorate
the party
for the party.
So Dr. Ekiamwako is also with us, and she's a member of the MPP communications team. You're a medical doctor, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, let me just remind you that with Betway, you're guaranteed to get more chances to play. Betway, pick your prices, lets you choose your preferred promotion and make you perfect or the perfect sports bet every week, from payouts to cashback. Plus, you will also stand a chance to choose your own price, from vouchers to electronics and grand prizes of airline tickets. Visit betway.com.gh and find out more. Terms and conditions applied as regulated by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Betway, play responsibly. Lifts and Elevators is also urging you to enjoy the fruits of your labor by engaging the services. Lifts and Elevators have got you covered with the best portable American pneumatic vacuum elevators on the market today. It is simple, self-supported for both homes and offices, and it also can lift your goods as well. Wheelchairs can be fitted in. It comes in 3 custom-made modules. It's affordable and can be installed only in 3 days. Lifts and Elevators located at Sakumono. Call them on 0200-535515 or send an email to elevators@gmail.com for consultations and best solutions. All right, let's get to the Electoral Commission. Okay, we have some videos, but I would rather, since the guests are here, they'll speak on that. As they're speaking, we'll air the videos for you. So the 2 leading political parties, you picked 8, Shamima, and the MPP picked 1 for that matter. Okay, I'll start with you, with the balloting, and then later we'll get into the register audits that the NDC is also asking for.
Okay.
But the number 1 for MPP.
Exciting news, really exciting news. Mostly for the ease of marketing that our parliamentary aspirants will have. That's one thing that I don't know if my brothers and sisters in the NDC are deliberately jubilating when I really don't see a reason why, because I think they are in a tough spot when it comes to that. They are going to have to make flyers for each constituency. You can't make an 8-8 because in certain constituencies, your parliamentary candidates will not be number 8. On the other hand, God has, when I saw that, and it was going to be number 1 on both sides, it just, the assertion that people, I think it was President Kufuor that said it, that Dr. Bawumia was a man that was basically ordained. I don't want to misquote him, but basically that's what he was saying. That's the first thought that came to my mind when he picked number 1, because it makes our job we are not going to be complacent about this. We are still going to go to the people, meet them, ask what they really want done, tell them what we have for them and what we've done so far. But it also makes it easier for us to communicate with them, especially on the issue of defective ballots and everything, because the MPP presidential candidate, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, will be at the top. As soon as you pick the paper, you scan, the first thing you see will be Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. You put your thumb there, you vote for him. You pick the paper. The NPP parliamentary candidates will also be at the top across the country. So that's one thing that's actually made me a little
if you
more
pick
relaxed.
1, automatically that's what happens.
Yes, exactly. So that's exactly the point I'm making. That so immediately I was very happy that we picked 1. Whilst on the other side they will have to struggle. Some it will be 3, some 4, some that variance. So they will not be able to have a uniform communication across all constituencies. So you stand to
benefit from that.
See, I don't, certain people try to make a big deal about these numbers and its meaning and everything. I think it's about the message and about your record more. But we cannot also overlook the issue of defective ballots, because I was looking at the 2020 polls and it looked like there was over 300,000 defective ballots. And I feel like all these things would go into that. It's obviously easier to thumbprint the first box, get it neatly, than thumbprint the middle 8 somewhere and go and thumbprint 4 somewhere. So just on the basis of that logic, it's not something we.
So you don't believe in numerologies?
Not too much. As a scientist, I try not to.
But you believe in history?
Of course.
You
of
believe
course.
in history?
Yes. But if you are basing history on a number, then it's not, you can't really draw a causal link, as I like to say. If something happens and you can correlate, it doesn't mean you can draw causation. So yeah. So I think and the people of Ghana are not going to vote for somebody just because they are number 1 or there's 8 or, it's based on what you've done, show working. and how you've been able to communicate your message and your word to the people over the period of time. So I think that's what's more important. But yes, I was very pleased with that. What I didn't understand is the confusion that seemed to have happened even during the balloting. I feel like that whole process made me doubt the reasoning and the motive behind the NDC and their calls for this audit. Because I saw certain members of the NDC, I don't know if I can call them leading members of the NDC, purporting that there was some
ballot swap
on the side of stealing
during the balloting.
Yes, which it was very far from the truth. I saw the video and I'm like, the video and the caption for the video, I couldn't understand it.
How you captioned the video you saw?
Two people are comparing what they got. He didn't even swap the ballot paper. He brought out his one. You can tell the Dr. Evans Nimako is holding the one. So how did he, I found that very strange. So if you are going about trying to insert these tactics just in balloting, then how can we take you serious on your issues of the voters register? That's the first thought. Are you just trying to foment trouble? Are you just trying to disrupt the process of electioneering? Bear in mind, we only have about 80 days to the election, and this election is going to happen whether they like it or not. I would expect them at this point to focus more on their campaign and what they are doing and hit the ground. I don't see that energy and enthusiasm from the NDC, except when to come and complain. That's when they will be very loud and they will come out in full force and do it without proffering any solutions to the things they are complaining about. And I think right now the people of Ghana are very much, their eyes are open to that. They are very aware of it. You are telling us a problem we are all aware of. What is your solution? So I think that is where the two parties diverge, because we always try to proffer solutions. As one of the taglines of our manifesto, bold solutions. We are always thinking about possibilities. The difference is we believe in this country. We don't want to be the ones, as it may be, trying to dissuade investor confidence and all that by, trying to say that we are in a sinking ship. We believe in Mother Ghana, so we are going to keep doing whatever we need to do to make sure that we all move forward.
All right. Let me, Shamima.
MPP doesn't need anyone to, they don't need anyone to cause investor, what did she say? She said investor confidence. They don't need anyone. They've been able to achieve that themselves in destroying investor confidence. Their actions and inactions, don't they know what is happening? My sister seems to be a little disconnected from the reality of their governance, and I'm not sure if they are taking feedback from people. I think there's a huge dose of dissonance between the NPP spokesperson and leader to the reality on the ground as expressed by people, because they seem to think that it's only NDC that is lamenting. So the pain, the hardships from the masses are not justified in their belief. After they've caused the mess, they go around saying that, don't complain about the mess. Your you have been closed out of the capital market because of your mismanagement. The head of the economic management team has refused to undertake any economic lectures anymore because he cannot justify the problems. You have caused it. The only thing that will restore investor confidence back to our economy is for the NPP to lose monumentally at the polls so that a new president will come, the one who is more experienced, John Dramani Mahama, and we can leverage on the goodwill from that new chapter to reset and to rebuild. Before I go into the numbers and where we are on the poll, I was trying to pull out some information. It took a lot of time because it was in my files, but I pulled it out just so my sister would know that when we speak about ideas and transformative ideas, MPP doesn't come anywhere close. And I'm speaking specifically about when I was talking about the transformative effect of the GET Fund, and I made reference to the e-blocks. The e-blocks was not the only intervention we did under the GET Fund. We actually had the almighty Popular School and the Trees Initiative. We built 197 schools under trees through the GET Fund. At least for 122 of those schools were completely done and were operationalized. This is evident on the ground. And even when we talk about Hajj, is it not John Mahama that ensured that the Tamale airport was refurbished to international status to allow for pilgrims to travel directly from Tamale to Hajj, easing the burden? At the time we left office, the Hajj fare was 11,900. Under Alhaji Bawumia, 75,000. We had over 8,000 illegal routes because people used other means to go into Hajj and created a lot of problem for the Hajj committee because of the fare. We had, under the Cuban scholarship, over 200 Muslim students from Zongo and inner communities. And when we even say Zongo, please, it's not only Muslims who live in Zongo communities. So people within the inner, over 200 scholarships, inner communities, benefited for it. And that is why HM has also promised that the scholarship scheme for the Zongo in inner cities will target relevant courses in science, in technology, in engineering, so that we can lift the human capital of these places. And when they come back, they can go and work in hospitals and create jobs for, their people. These are the direct interventions. I'd like to ask Alhaji Bawumia, there are 16 model senior high schools that he promised the people of the Zongo communities. Where are they? He failed in that promise. In fact, the chief imam and a coalition of Muslim communities presented a Muslim manifesto to both John Mahama and Bawumia. As we speak, NDC has incorporated 90% of the demands made. In fact, it was NDC that brought Islamic education units under GES, so that we can incorporate both secular and religious education and have our people be confident to bring their children to have access to that. We are also now talking about the Soyeye Fund, which is going to support women in our Zongo communities, similar to the Women's Development Bank that they can still have access to. Also a new promise of building 3 Islamic senior high schools in the northern, middle, and southern belt. These are direct interventions. We have a problem where some Muslim girls in some secondary schools are not allowed to fast, are not allowed to wear their hijab. These are not things that allow for cohesion in our society. So the vision is, and we are told when you come to complain that also go and build your schools, So at least we are hoping that these senior high schools and the model of Islamic senior high schools, Amas, for example, Christians go to church, you are actually allowed to profess your faith in a Muslim school. But we don't always get that in some of these Christian schools, and it's not good, okay? My school is Holy Child Secondary School in Cape Coast. Yes. That's why I keep telling you are lost. You are a Jira Park girl. You've gone to join this new false preachers party. You will not come and join the NDC. The NPP preaches a lot. They never practice what they preach. In Holy Child today, when I was there, we were very few. A couple of years later, my cousin went. She became the first female head girl, Muslim, Rahat Mumin. As we speak, there is a Muslim association in Holy Child. They have a teacher patron. They are allowed to fast. They are allowed to go and participate in Eid, celebrations outside of the school. This is a sign of a very progressive, institution, and many other institutions we must not fear each other. It is only when we come together, live together, that we can bridge, we can create cohesion amongst ourselves. So a lot of these things, also the Al Farouk College of Education that the Chief Imam wanted us to complete, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has promised that he's going to work on it. On to the numerology. We are excited as a political party that under the safety of the umbrella, God has made it so that the 8th is now in the custody of His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Everybody who is watching us, let me do it properly so you can see. We are inviting you to join the umbrella family.
She also brings
this is how it's going to be. This symbol is the symbol of victory, the symbol of protection, the symbol of unity. This symbol is what you should look out for on the day of voting. How poetic. Oh, he was coming to take a picture. How poetic is it that for the past 4 years, the New Patriotic Party has been promoting their agenda to break the 8, so that the NPP can be in power continuously for 12 years. Break the 8, break the 8. And then when it comes to voting, to balloting, they pick number 1. In the history of this country, party candidates who pick number 1 in their first attempt have always lost the election. Atta Mills did that, he lost the election. Nana Akufo-Addo did that, he lost the election. There's no science to it, but that is what it is. And you've also picked number 1. And I'm telling everybody that, you see, the stars align, and they align beautifully to make a statement. And we must not forget the significance of these statements. In 2012, unfortunately, and I just make this reference just so we know that sometimes we are given the signs, but we parry the signs, and then we now leave the consequences of our actions. In 2012, the presidential candidate of the NPP at the time, Nana Akufo-Addo, was at a rally, and he was surrounded by a lot of the party. And I watched the video. In fact, he was speaking about how they will come and create, expand educational opportunities for young people. Just in the middle of that statement, the platform they were on collapsed. A friend who is a pastor's wife told me that immediately she saw that, she said, this is not a good sign, and that these people will collapse this country. And the economy has truly collapsed under their watch. And what happens now? The 8 that you have been marketing, that you are going to break the 8. You go and you pick number 1, and then your opponent, look, there are 13 people on the ballot too. No one picks the 8 other than your major opponent, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. The 8 that you are searching for, God just delivered to the NDC. And I'm not going to repeat all the things that people have shared about the significance, even in Islam, in Christianity, even in Orthodox religion, about the significance of the number 8. I'm not going to repeat it, but I'm just saying that right now, the 8 is in the custody of John Dramani Mahama and the NDC. That is significant. And we'll tell that story when we go out there. The other thing to add quickly is that God has isolated the NPP at the top. Please, let us see these things for the significance that they present. God has isolated the NPP at the top of the ballot. When you pick your presidential ballot, you cannot miss the person who has caused you so much pain. When you pick the parliamentary ballot, you cannot miss the person who has caused you so much pain, because they are at the top, isolated, that you may not miss them, that you may not make the mistake of giving them your vote. This is the significance of the number they have chosen. So when you take the ballot, ignore the person at the top. He is the reason for the hardships you are enjoying and suffering. He is the reason for the corruption. He is the reason for the pain. He is the reason why Ghana is today bankrupt. So when you take the ballot, mufa ballot now, the pakron or order number 1, or no na yebeto abane etiano. Nyame edunesi number 1, so that yebehu say or no ena emfata say yen voting mano. Afe die ojo ballot now, please look out for, in fact, start from the bottom and look out for the umbrella. So when you pick your ballot, please start from the bottom of your paper for the presidential. Look out for the colorful umbrella. This is how it will look, hopefully. Look out for your colorful umbrella. Look out for the image of John Dramani Mahama, Ejumawura, John Ayebida Mahama, John Osan Sube Eye Biom. Please forgive my tree, I'm trying. Okay, so this is how, look out for chinieno, so please look out for chinieno, umbrella no, and noa na yede ko Victory. And when you find the umbrella, please take your time, wipe your thumb, put your thumb in the ink, and then please thumbprint on the empty box that will be next to the umbrella. So if you can count the 8. If you cannot count, please just look at each box and look out for the umbrella symbol, and then you would see the handsome John Dramani Mahama, the affable, the God-fearing, the trustworthy John Dramani Mahama, who loves this country, the great father John Dramani Mahama. It is the umbrella all the way. We are happy and we thank Almighty God.
But then we can move on. I find it interesting that you get the 8 and you are happy. We've been saying we are no, not just not the 8. A lot of other. Don't worry, just 1 minute. I will stay within, and we'll all be happy. The 8 we are trying to break. You've picked the 8, and we are going to break you. The 8 that you've picked is what we are breaking. That's just by the way. What I found very strange is that before we started all of this, I said that what the NDC is good at is complaining without proffering solutions. My dear sister here tried to make it okay. The economy is bad, blah blah. I just showed you proof that the world economy, the world players in this are saying, "Oh, Ghana, you are coming out of the ditch. You are growing. You are growing at a rate that is much bigger than what they did." When John Mahama, the person that we are asking, they are asking us to go back to, was leaving, the economy with no external shocks was growing at less than 3%. She said that they started the Schools Under Trees initiative. Hey, NDC. So the people of Ghana should stop.
Under the schools. What are you saying?
Are you, what, no, correct. There's
I'm
Schools Under
that
Trees.
We built 197 schools under the Schools Under Trees project.
So Schools Under Trees project, right? So Ghanaians should leave the person that has given them actual schools, the person that has given them free SHS.
Like you say, actual dam. Remember the actual dam statement?
No, I'm just.
You know they've collapsed.
A proper sheltered.
If you want a proper dam.
A proper sheltered school. We've brought free SHS. Leave those people and go for the mediocrity established by saying that one of the things that you've done very well is at the Schools Under Trees initiative in 2024. Really? And she also said that John Mahama.
In 2024.
No, I'm saying you are saying this in 2024.
But why we shouldn't say what we have done?
Are we
in the past?
We are looking to go forward. We are talking about STEM schools. We are talking about
STEM schools are
they are
not
into the
normal.
future. They are not new. They are not doing them, and we are also going to do them.
We are putting STEM centers into normal schools.
STEM schools are specialized schools that are made for specialized programs. They are not the normal education system that it's just
they are even in our programs.
Field.
No.
So it is built for a purpose.
But are you aware that we are putting STEM centers in existing schools? About 20 of them.
No, I'm just saying that STEM.
No, so the STEM schools are separate. They are JHS model schools that people will attend. This is all a movement into the future to be able to create innovative thinking leaders for the future. There are STEM centers that we are putting in existing secondary schools.
Has brought us.
The man that said we will not implement free SHS on the whimsical promises of a desperate politician is now trying to tell us that he has the well-being of the education of the normal Ghanaian at heart. That's not something we can really take seriously, is it?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something Ghanaians can take seriously. If in 2024, what you are saying that you did great was Schools Under Trees initiative,
you are owed 6
then I don't know where are we going. Are we going forward or back? And this is what the people of Ghana will look at on December 7th. The people whose children have benefited from the free SHS policy that the NDC people said will come and collapse our education system. The number of things they said, if we had time, I can show it to you. John Mahama said free SHS will collapse our education system. Again, I can show it to you.
When did he say that?
It's reported, just the second. And
when did he say that?
Before we came into power in 2016. Yes.
Before we came into 2016.
Yes.
What's
He
the
said
state
that.
of our educational system today?
You think it has collapsed?
I don't know.
It hasn't.
What's the state
It hasn't collapsed.
Are there
If
problems?
you look at the matrices for quality, there's no way you can say our education system is collapsing. Have you seen the grades?
You are looking at the matrices for quality.
Yes.
And you say that what?
It hasn't collapsed. What would you have to say to the contrary? I don't see, if people are going to school passing, the products of free SHS are getting scholarships to go outside, like Thomas Amwenim, who went viral recently.
Can Thomas Amwenim's name rest?
No, it will not rest. It cannot rest. If it is a success story, it cannot rest, because there are so many people like him who are watching, whose families are watching in the villages there and others are at the back, who need to be empowered.
Sorry. So that Thomas Amwenim, we have other Thomas Amwenins,
yes.
right? Can you mention their names?
No, that's not very fair of you for you to ask me. Thomas Amwenim is the person who... No, I can show you the WAEC, the results, the trend of the results. And you can see that in the last 3 years, there's no red. That means nobody is getting...
That has also become
So for
problem.
a leader, when people are doing well, to now come and say that the children are cheating, is that... I mean, if these people were your children, is that what you would tell them? Obviously not. Let me just quickly show you when Muhammad... It will collapse our education system. That's what he said. But thank God it did not collapse our education system. So we are the ones that can be trusted on
So
it.
you have a school system that children stay in school for about a month and go back home and stay for 3 months as vacation. And you say that it's quality education.
With poor food, with textbooks,
access,
the textbooks have not reached.
So you know, things, people don't do things. You see, sometimes when I hear people saying things
and you
about...
say that is quality education.
Are we going to say that before we started free SHS, the people in public secondary schools were having like Imperial Pekin style food?
Oh, come on, don't be simplistic.
No,
so
for you to try and make it seem like
do
now,
not be simplistic.
Now, because of free SHS, the food is bad.
When we get the chance to sit on air and have certain discussions, let's not undermine. Let's not undermine the intelligence of those who are watching.
So let's not undermine.
People knew the state in which they were in 2016 when it comes to education, their children and everything.
Okay.
The complaints that we in the media even
started is the food.
Recording.
When I was a holy child,
we're not complaining that we were complaining.
They were not complaining about food.
In 2016, you were not feeding them. Were you the one who was responsible for their feeding? They were saying it's expensive. You say, okay, we'll let you go for free. And someone says that when you do that, you're going to collapse the educational system with this, what's it called? Samima, you're distracting me. Can you please?
So is this educational system collapsed? Yeah? Is it collapsed? Would you say our current educational system is collapsed?
If you do a wholesale, you are going to collapse the system.
So people, the 200 people that had passed from JHS should have stayed at home. Whose child should have stayed at home because they couldn't afford school? The issue of SHS is a very emotional one. I have an oddly in my hospital, in my clinic right now.
The NDC was saying that there shouldn't be free education. In fact, they even argued from the Constitution what FQ defined free SHS and what we should do. Okay. And then they told you that to safeguard the system, we want to do it progressively free, not a wholesale. So it will be unfair for you to just make a blanket statement and say, someone said it will collapse the system, it didn't collapse the system, are we collapsed? You're just being simplistic.
No, I'm not being simplistic at all.
At
it
least
is absolutely not false. What's up, Shamima, do we have two moderators on this show? You said the thing is not possible. It cannot be done. It will break the system down. We all went to secondary school. Some of us were lucky enough to go to schools where things were slightly a little bit better. So in Holy Child, the food was slightly better. There were sometimes we had spaghetti. That was my favorite thing there. But the spaghetti is not it's something that if I show my nieces at this point as food, they won't eat it. They will throw up that. Are you serious? Were you eating? Yes, they're still having this. They still have the spaghetti.
They're having rich food.
They are still having the spaghetti. I'm saying the food.
Are they having rich food?
Yes, the food that I had is the same food they are having.
They're having today.
Yes.
So then the schools are being the school feeding is being selective in what to give to some schools.
I can't say that.
I can say that.
Yeah, I can't.
From your submission.
I can't say that. No, it's to try and say that the level of food was very good then, and now it is very bad. That's what I'm saying.
But
and
it's bad today.
Yes, the level of food is bad. So because of that, people shouldn't be educated. Are you saying that? The oddly in my hospital who dropped out of secondary school in JHS because her parents could not afford it. Do you think if she has the option to go to school with bad food, do you think she wouldn't take it? These things are very important, and not even accepting that the food is bad. This education, if you are standing here saying that John Mahama is somebody that cares about rising the level of everybody, when he started his supposed free progressive, it was 30 cedis he paid on this thing. That year, students were still sacked from school because they couldn't pay school fees. WAEC withheld results because they couldn't pay. These are the kind of issues we are talking about. The bigger issue, I'll always mention Clara, because in, I think JSS2 or something, her father said he had too many children.
Who's
or something.
Clara?
She's an orderly I work with in the hospital. And so she dropped out of school. And this girl is pretty, she's smart, and you know she could have gone far. There's very little you can do for her now because she, even VC, she did not finish doing it. But now somebody like her would have been able to meander her way, go through, finish secondary school. These are the things we are talking about. And it's important. It's important that we give the free SHS the credit it is due. Because it has worked. People are going to school. If you look at the enrollment statistics...
Do you believe that free SHS needs a review?
But no, every policy will be reviewed. Everything you do in life, if you don't sit back and look at it and improve it, then what are you doing?
Does it mean cancellation?
No.
Okay.
When we talk about that, I see where you are going with that. We just want to...
I'm not going anywhere. I just asked very...
Okay, then let's leave it there. And you were talking about contact hours. Another important thing for you to notice is that you know the double track system is being phased out. Are you aware of that?
I'm watching.
It's being phased out because the idea is not that, okay, let's wait and then, okay, some people's children will suffer. Let's find a way of educating all of the kids, and then we have the infrastructure on, and that has been done.
At least, can you thank the NDC for
what?
building some of the infrastructure
The 22 blocks that you built in the middle of nowhere with no accommodation, no teacher accommodation, no dormitories, and it's so far from where the kids are. That's why some of them are still in the forest that's not being used. This government has actually built dormitories for some of your E-blocks to make it more functional.
So you're admitting that the government abandoned those structures because they are in the forest?
Nobody was going.
Why was nobody going?
Because it is so far. Who
determined the structure?
People are posted to these schools and they don't turn up. Because look at it.
So did you post teachers there? Did you start a school activity in that building that they didn't show up?
Yes, people are posted there and they won't turn up. It wasn't a viable thing.
Records, okay,
yeah.
So we have records of teachers that were posted to such schools that were not official.
If you are doing anything, you have to survey and then see what is going to happen and how you are going to run the system.
You said people were not going there. My question is, did you post...
The feedback we got was that
an educational system?
Even the teachers you were trying to post there were having difficulty because you are going to a school, number one, that is a little far removed from main society. There's no accommodation for the teachers there. There are no dormitories. And we haven't abandoned the E-blocks. In fact, this government has built dormitories for some of the E-blocks to make it a more functional system. Because now you have dormitories, so even if it's far, you don't have an excuse. I used to leave Kumasi to go to Cape Coast for school, so then if it's far and there's a dormitory, then it makes no sense. So what's the excuse
abandoning a structure
day school
that we have put our money in to tell us that it was in the forest, so we abandoned it?
No, I didn't say it's in the forest, so we abandoned it.
I
said people found it difficult to go to these schools because the other structures were not there. It wasn't well thought out, so people found it difficult to go to these schools. So we have to wait and make it a system that's can work before people can go there. Okay. If you add dormitories, then you can confidently, in good conscience, send people there.
Okay. Let me just take these minutes to read this quickly, and then we will continue. We're going to the Electoral Commission. The NDC is still not giving up on its request for a audit or an audit. So this is from Dr. Omani Boama, who posted this earlier. Like I said, there's a meeting that's been arranged today at 4 p.m. today, aside for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's holiday. We, NDC, will meet CSOs, labor unions, religious leaders, media managers, and journalists, and other invited guests at the Kama Conference Center to present our case on the need for the forensic audit of the voters' register and its IT system. The program is exclusively dedicated to the invited guests and will be live on TV, radio, and social media networks. So, list of CSOs, labor unions, Christian organizations, and individuals invited to the presentation includes 1. Center for Democratic Development, TDD, Institute of Democratic Governance, IDEC, Coalition for Democratic Elections, Observers Codeo, Star Ghana, Imani Ghana, Action 8, Ghana Integrity Initiative, Civic Forum Initiative, Alliance for Social Equity, Alliance for Social Equity and Public Accountability, Arise Ghana, Community Focus Foundation, Care for Free and Fair Elections, Democratic Credentials Network, Center for Social Democracy Ghana, Coalition for CSOs Against Political Vigilantism and Violence Extremism, Renal Ghana Foundation, Center for Socio-Economic Studies, Chamber of Local Governance, Alliance for Feminist CSOs, Backbone of Good Governance, Center for Policy Research, Positive Transparency, Accountability, Bold Defense, blah, blah, blah. We have Stranek, Commission for Human Rights and Administrative Justice, SHRAJ, Media Foundation for West Africa, Ghana Journalists Association. And the labor unions, we have Trade Union Congress, Ghana National Association Teachers, Ghana National Association Graduate Teachers, University of Ghana Association of Ghana, Technical University Teachers Association of Ghana, Colleges of Education Teachers, Ghana Medical Association, Association of Ghana Industries, that's the AGI, Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association, Ghana Federal of Labor, Private Enterprise Federation. So it's up to about 55.
I got lost in it.
Yes, actually. A lot of CSOs and the media in general and labor unions have been invited to this press conference. I suppose it's going to be a huge one. I'm not sure why though, but Shamima, many times, well, we've seen the Electoral Commission hold press conferences and have addressed the issue, especially regarding POSIGA, which means that to a certain extent, it admits that there were some discrepancies and criminal activities carried out, because they also gave us the information that an electoral officer was picked up by the police following that. So it means that I want to accept that they believe that there were discrepancies.
They've not contested it.
Yes, but on the other side, they say you have refused to present your case to the EC. So come around the table. In fact, I think prior to your demonstration or the protest, they said that you come into the office rather than going onto the street, which you didn't heed to, and you went on to protest. So why have you decided to meet all these people and not the EC?
If you were in our shoes, will you trust the Electoral Commission with everything you have observed, everything you have covered, the posturing, the statements coming from individuals within the Commission? You know, this is not where it started. And I'll just say, dear Jean Mensah, I've admired Jean for the longest time. When I was in Lagos in my first or second year, 1999, 2000, I participated in an IEA youth leadership program. It must have been 2001, because the NPP was in government, and President Akufo-Addo was Attorney General. I remember because on one of our nights so there were nights that would have a visit from, somebody to come and speak with us. On one of the nights, Akufo-Addo came and we took a picture, and I was standing next to him, Attorney General at that time. So I have had admiration for her work. And I also recall this presidential debate. 2012, I was a co-moderator of the presidential debates, right? Okay, so I had an opportunity. Yes, I was. Yeah. And we used to go there for meetings. Professor Nana Jane was also on the debates, as well as Kojo Opon. We used to go for meetings there. And so at that time, I experienced what she was trying to do to contribute to building our democracy. On the specific matter of calling for audit, there is evidence that when she was at IEA, even she responded to calls from the opposition then about the sanctity of our electoral register, to the extent of also encouraging the Electoral Commission to accede to the request for an audit. What could we lose with an audit of a document that has gone through different kinds of, evolutions? So based on that singular recognition and comment, which is on record, from none other than Jean Mensa when she was IEA, who is now at the Electoral Commission, I would have loved to think that she would have been more open and even troubleshoot some of these issues that have bedecked the Commission since she ascended the throne. If I was here, the circumstances under which Charlotte was hounded out of that office, I wouldn't have accepted that office. But she came in, and I'm sure under proper consideration of what the role would entail. So I am quite saddened and sometimes disappointed at the posturing. Before we got to this point, it had to do with even the appointment of some of the commissioners. 2 commissioners known as signs with links to the New Patriotic Party. Everybody votes. So nobody is, in the sense of the word, in essence, neutral. But there are some institutions that must be cloaked from notions, perceptions, or any inclinations of partisanship. The Electoral Commission is one such important institution, because if it fails, the potential to plunge this country into chaos is real. So it is one of the institutions that require a certain high level of protection. Some CEOs petitioned for the resignation of those individuals. CDD was amongst. So it is not an NDC observation. It is an observation from CSOs when that appointment was made. What happened? It was poo-pooed. And today we are where we are, where a commissioner can address a press conference to respond to concerns from an opposition party, a major opposition party, and you try to ridicule their stance by telling us that, oh, there was a time, you are happy that they have now seen this because there was a time where trees and whatever was on our electoral, when STL was doing it, and there's an explanation for it. They had to do different kinds of simulations to see how the system will capture various images. And they used different things to do that simulation. That was the reason. So it was not like who will come and put trees in an electoral register and leave it there. Shouldn't they tell you that? Then the Electoral Commission itself has a problem, because some of you workers, you've been at the commission for several years. So please, if you say you love Ghana just as we love Ghana, we know we are a party in waiting, coming into government, inshallah, January 7th, 2025. Why would we want to do anything that disrupts the process if there was no, if there weren't any genuine concerns that you yourself, you have agreed? How can BVDs and BVRs in your custody get missing? Up to date, we don't know the story. How did they get missing? How did someone get caught in Nsawam with a BVD equipment? If some people are showing you the signs, we must believe you. You're beginning to show us who you are. So we are believing you. And to believe you means that we must be extra vigilant. When they asked for the register, you are telling us that you have corrected. You see, you said we should bring, you said you gave a pen drive that we should go and put our findings in, because they did the presentation at to the Electoral Commission. They did the presentation. They saw
that's
some
the one that we were refused of the live coverage.
Yes.
That you requested
Yes.
for. Okay.
Yes, so that we will carry Ghanaians along, because we don't want to make it look like we are complaining and lamenting over no issue. So we wanted Ghanaians to be witnesses to what we are presenting to the Electoral Commission at this stage. Please, transparency, full transparency is the only cure for whatever mischief you think NDC is doing, or what NDC believes you're doing. It's only full transparency that can be the cure. And then you said you have already corrected some of the errors. Which errors? If we have not given them to you, which errors have you committed? Have you corrected? So there is a major issue. All these stakeholders asking us to come into a meeting. Let us come into a meeting with everybody. Where are you running away from? If we have something to hide, why would we want witnesses?
Did you invite
if we didn't have a case
the EC to this meeting?
No, they don't need to be. So we've already gone to see them.
Yeah, but
so we've already gone to do a presentation to the Electoral Commission. And they said that they have corrected some of the errors and they are almost done with, the corrections. So if I have come to you with the problem and you say you have resolved the problem, should you not give the copy of what you have resolved so I can now, compare with mine to see if you have resolved it? Logically, that's what you should do. Yeah. But you have not done that. And you are rather asking me to give you my comprehensive, which I should just give it to you. On what basis?
The reason I'm asking is, when you went to them, you had gone to the EC, and you say, give us a live coverage of what we're going to present.
Yes,
and they refused you. Yes. So in this case, once you have the opportunity to do your press conference, now I am doing my press conference. I'm sending you an invitation. This one, I'm going to put a live coverage to it. You understand? So having invited all these CSOs, I won't, stay away from inviting you to come and be a part of it. I don't think it takes anything away.
It doesn't take anything if they want to attend it. Yeah. But this next level of intervention is to give these CSOs and some individuals direct access to what we have found so that they would know and assess for themselves if there's any legitimacy to our complaints, upon which I should then expect that we demand from the Electoral Commission to offer us what they have. So we do a comparison. If you have resolved all our problems, then there's no problem. Okay. But we cannot go less than 70 days into this election.
Okay. So we
with such a faulty register, where several hundreds of people have had their have had their votes transferred to polling stations without their permission that they are not aware of. Please, let's keep this country together. We are not asking for much. We are asking for cooperation and transparency. If the EC has nothing to hide, they have much to prove.
So it was
more proactive.
Earlier, it was a little difficult to have the MPP comment on these matters that were happening between strictly the NDC and the EC. But the MPP has now officially spoken to it and have said how they are against the request of the NDC. So. Now, quoting from the statements, friends of the media, ladies and gentlemen, we in the MPP will be hypocrites to suggest that the NDC acted wrongly by engaging the EC with their concerns pertaining to 2024 provisional register and other matters of the electoral concern. Historically, the MPP has been known for being lead advocates and crusaders for most of the electoral reforms that have positively shaped our nation and democracy. From the campaign against the use of opaque ballot, okay, so this is the history of how they have contributed to the changes. However, what many Ghanaians and the MPP cannot comprehend is when the NDC still has not submitted to the EC detailed information of its so-called irregularities, discrepancies, and authorized manipulation of the provisional register, despite several appeals by the EC. For instance, in page 2 of their petition to the EC, the NDC stated emphatically that they have uncovered evidence of 240,540 illegal transfers, 3,957 deleted names of voters, as well as over 15,000 unidentified voter transfers passed in the provisional register. Yet 13 days after the NDC first met the EC on September 6, 2024, they have still not provided a single document to authenticate any of these.
So, Annie, is it the basis on which they say they are now going, they would also protest any action by the Electoral Commission to open up to forensic audits? Does this make sense?
My question rather, well, that's your question, but my question is, so what did the EC correct?
So that is the thing. What did they correct?
Yeah.
On what did they correct?
Okay.
So it means they themselves have seen some of these problems. If we have not
assume that,
it means they themselves have seen the problems.
The EC has seen some discrepancies and have corrected it. But they also say that you still have to present at least the numbers that have been mentioned that you presented. These are the numbers. They want to see those numbers. So
we don't want to do it in the bedroom with them, so that they'll come and say that what.
Okay.
But what is the problem of opening
so is the
up?
NDC's position that if the EC wants to do
And
it
they
in
have
public,
same
you will
positions
agree?
in the past.
No, I'm saying, would you agree if it's not done in the bedroom?
But what are you hearing us say? We are saying that open up the process. Haven't you seen us
You
been
didn't say
called
that you are bringing the information for them to
Mm.
verify. No, not so. You are just ab initio, you are going to the highest. You are trying to kill the little ants with the sledgehammer just from the beginning. You haven't engaged them. You haven't sent your
They've engaged them.
you haven't
We
sent
have
your
engaged
the evidence of this impropriety to them, and you are already calling for an audit. That's just by the way. I find this whole everything that's going on a little funny, but I think I'm seeing what's happening here. Since this campaign kicked off, everything from the NDC side has just been distractions. That's all I see. And the beautiful thing is, same candidates, same teams, like, you know, the same thing we can see what they said on these kinds of issues. President Mahama at that time said no voters register, no perfect voters register exists in the world, when the MPP at that time was making demands of a new register as its main.
Did you agree then?
He stood on a campaign, no, just to understand what I'm seeing, you know. He used the word as a student of politics, so let me borrow it. As a student of politics, seeing what is going on, let me explain to the viewers and see if they agree with me. He stands on the launch of his campaign in 2016 to say that the MPP is complaining about the voters register and attacking the EC and vilifying the referee. And as a student of politics, he can see that the MPP they do this when you see you are losing an election. Opponents do this when they see they are losing an election, so that in the event that they lose, they have something to go on. This is what ex-President Mahama said at that time in 2016. So we know that this is part of his playbook, his blueprint. Mm-hmm. The NDC also, at that time, when the MPP was making the same complaints, there was a full, just like what you are reading. I just found a few interesting statements that I think would put everything we are doing in context. I'll try to go over them very briefly. So, just the first point one, they call the calls by the MPP needless. The NDC welcomes the decision of the Electoral Commission not to undertake the needless exercise of compiling a new register for the purpose of conducting the 2016 elections. You didn't see the points of this. It was needless. What all we were doing was needless. When you go on,
you asked for a
when you go on
compilation of a new
2.7
register.
on that,
we are asking for an audit.
You're asking for a forensic
That's
audit
not
that
the
is
same.
going to
Audit
into the systems
not
of
new
the
register.
EC. And let me put
VCRAC
it on
crap
record here that
report.
I'm not speaking for the
Didn't
EC.
agree.
I am speaking as a Ghanaian and as a member of the MPP on my views on the issue. I cannot sit here and speak for the Electoral Commission. They are an independent and autonomous body, and so if we require a word from them, we can reach out to them. I can just comment on it as a student of politics. Number 7, they said this behavior that the MPP was exhibiting is also in keeping with the perennial scaremongering tactics, which involves the raising of the political temperature unnecessarily with a view to compelling Ghanaians to vote for them in exchange for peace. This is what the NDC said in 2016. So we know as part of their dossier, their big document of tactics to use for these things are part of it. Scaremongering to compel Ghanaians to vote for them in exchange for peace. That's what they said at that time. So if you look at the posturing of the NDC right now, I found it very scary. A lot of inciting of what looks to be violence. And this, I'm being very measured in what I'm saying, because it is much worse. On the day of their demonstration, I saw their General Secretary, Honorable Esiedun Ketia, on the top of a car. I don't know what he was trying to do, whether to energize the public or whatever. Then he was doing the sign of decapitation. Whose head are you cutting off? These are all rhetoric. I can show you the video. Did you not see it? You didn't see the
Whose
video?
head did Samuel who wants to go and bash with the woman?
he was doing this.
No,
I'm just, what's the point? You are saying
then
scaremongering.
You need to know.
Don't you consider that scaremongering?
Says they should go to
Isn't
police
that
stations with
scaremongering?
warmer.
Yeah, I found that. What does it mean? You are talking. You are energizing your base, and with those signs. To me, as a young girl, I found it scary, and I think it counts as scaremongering. And we can all agree if that doing this doesn't count as scaremongering. So it looks like you are using your own tactic of vilifying the referee when you see that you are losing the election.
But you are interpreting a body language.
That's not the only thing. Did you hear what one of the NDC guys that was arrested
against your youth organizer saying that they will not sacrifice this election
on the altar of peace? Do you understand the context in which that was?
You want to situate it in a context.
And we are not the ones talking about scaremongering. We are not. This is not our.
I'm just saying that you are
blueprint
interpreting a body language or a sign that was made.
And wait,
as against a statement
they said
that was
several things that
made.
they would not. They will not. I don't know. The NDC is behaving like this December election is their birthright, and we just have to hand it to them because.
Really?
Yes. That's how their posturing is. And for me, I can say categorically, I found that scary. I find that
you must be scared.
Part of scaremongering.
You must be scared because we will not allow you
I find
to
this
subvert
equally
the will
scary.
of Ghanaians.
Nobody has plans
because
to
why did you go and appoint two non-MPP people?
You have to
the
prove that as well.
Commission?
You said Jean Mensah was on the IEA, and Professor
Did you not
Jane,
hear what Jean Mensah said when she was a member of the IEA?
What did she
calling
say?
for the Electoral Commission to open up to all
So that makes her an MPP
Did you
member?
not hear it?
No, and then I don't even see why you said appointing two members of the MPP.
Of the
you just
commission.
said that.
It's not Jean Mensah.
Yes. So who are these two members?
You don't know Apia, what's his name? Apia Ting or whatever.
And what position in the party did he hold?
He was a communicator for the FPP.
And what
I'm
position?
saying that Apia doesn't know the history of her political
I don't think that's fair for you.
You don't know your party.
I don't think that's fair for you.
I'm sorry.
And the same way you've ascribed, the same way you ascribed that was the deputy commissioner was a patron of Tescon, and it turned out it was false. So it's the same way. It is all part of your tactics to try and we've appointed members of the MPP. Didn't you appoint members of the commission in 2016?
Who?
No, didn't the NDC appoint members of the commission of the?
You see, that's the difference. They were never.
No, you see, Shamima did some explanation, which I thought was clear, in the sense that you cannot. Everybody votes.
So everybody will have a leaning.
The word neutral is not even what you want to. But as far as associations and institutions are concerned, there are some institutions, as much as possible, you want to take them far away from perceptions and allegations and partisan colors. And the EC is an example. So when you have a party person that has openly communicated for a political party, and then you appoint that person to a body like an electoral commission, you are the one causing the problem of mistrust.
I would like to see the video you wanted to show on this.
Can you play that video for her?
No more de omana shenensa. Enu tie de ya tu. Ye nkoka say Petro boyed na. Fatrotro untumi to Petro fatrotro. Ye nkoka o. Ye nkoka say so man no yed na fa passport tu kwan. Kwa mo na kan sa. Ye de nka say odwanfunu. O kan ye ntie. Obia ye de bibi abeka bia ye som. Tina me say fix it and you don't person capitalizing on it for political advantage. Omunim people those who are behind the fix it on social media. Omunu somebody ayeye. No mdi birika akosisa ebi mu akọ fesika twitwiri die. Omu so man ma ye den. Won we ho budget na ebi mu de cost sponsor no. So fix it ho demonstration budget ebi omu so man ma ye den no.
Now, following this appointment, this is what the CDD said. The governance and the policy think tank, Center for Democratic Development, CDD, is appealing to Nana Addo to reconsider his decision to appoint Dr. Peter Appiah-Hene to the board of the Electoral Commission. He said the mere fact that Dr. Appiah-Hene is a patron of Tertiary Education Confederacy, TESCON, which is a student body affiliated to the governing New Patriotic Party, is problematic. He urged the president to take a second look at the appointment of Dr. Appiah-Hene he wondered if the appointment of Dr. Apiahene was done in consultation with the Council of State in accordance with the Article 71. The Council of State even released a statement on the back of this.
So this issue with Dr. Apiahene is the one that TESCON has come out to say he was not their patron. Not so.
You didn't hear what he was saying.
You didn't hear him.
No, but you were reading about CDD saying that he was a patron for TESCON.
And he was an MPP member.
He wasn't a
His
TESCON
communication showed that he was an MPP member. He communicated with, he debated political persons in the Ashanti region.
Just concede.
He is an open communication member. It's not like he is. Someone is just trying to tag him. No,
this matter
it's not an appointment that anybody is trying to read meanings and tags. And for meanings and tags, people do it all the time, and it's okay. But when the person has openly stood on the on a party color, that's a different communication.
In the media, if tomorrow
this electoral commission has asked for trust,
will you agree?
Right? It is the same electoral commission that caused
because I know what you people will say.
Right? It's the same electoral commission that for the NDC's argument. Sometimes I don't want to play to that so that it will look so political. But the issue, no, the issue of sound, I cannot be Ghanaian and know that I have a right to be taken care of. And then you disenfranchise a people.
That's wicked.
For these people, for very long years. And then you, the same institution, come and say, trust me. If you're a human being, it is only normal for you to have your doubts.
So what is in dispute here is whether Dr. Apiahene represents, because TESCON has come out to say
that he is
not a patron.
Hold on, what's in dispute here is that the register was released to all political parties. Now, they say that when you release them, they decided to audit themselves, and these were the findings. So they are saying, we need a forensic audit on what you have released.
Yes, based on
but
what...
the EC is also now telling them that, oh, trust us, we have audited, we've already done
and then there's no element of
there's
trust.
No,
and then the NDC is refusing to bring evidence to buttress their points. I honestly don't think this, because it's, as I said, it's in dispute.
Don't keep saying refuse. We showed some of the evidence to the election
which has been corrected. The issue in Posiga, another issue I find very, very curious, is a transfer of votes by an individual, a private person, using the EC system. I think he went around getting cards from, the voters' ID cards from individuals in that constituency and moved the votes between Narugu, Tamale Central, and Posiga, right? 3 NDC strongholds. If you are just trying to, what does the MPP stand to gain out of that exercise? And the EC was proactive about it when they noticed that they upgraded the system so that thing cannot happen anymore. And they have told, so I mean, it looks like the EC is being proactive in this issue. And that, I think they had an audit after that to be able to tell us that has not happened anymore.
They say the EC is being proactive.
Yes, they corrected it.
It's not factual.
No, for me, that's my opinion.
I'm not going
to
buttress with
them.
I'm not speaking for them.
What I'm saying is that from the beginning of the NDC's attempt to put some of these things out, the EC, right from the start, denied
that there was any issue.
What's it called? Laptops have missing. It's not true. BBDs are missing. It's not true. But they came back to admit that it's true.
And you
so
don't
from the beginning, when you use the word proactive, it's on
do
true.
right by Ghana. That's
all because we are in the field. We are recording what they're doing. So by history, just a few months back, all the issues they've raised, you denied it. But later you came to admit that it's true.
And it's always NDC who raises them. It is not them who.
That's why I'm saying that if you say that they're being proactive, that is.
So I think one thing that's important to put on record is that if in 2016, when the NDC appointed Amadou Sule on the EC, if the NPP was still able to win the election in 2016, let my brothers and sisters in the EC take some solace in that. I still will not go back into this issue of who was appointed. I want to speak on what we have, the facts we have available.
And based on you still can't concede.
No, you've also appointed somebody like that. So if we are trying to do a reductive kind of politics, Amadou Sule, 2012 is there. He was also appointed to the EC, and I'm saying if at that point he was also appointed to the EC.
And he was communicating for the party.
No, he's an NDC person. No, I'm saying stop this TESCON. That has not been proven. TESCON has not been proven. You people are the ones saying that no voters register is 100%. 100% perfect. If we were able to use that,
an aide to the president.
Please, it's too much. You see,
Okay,
when
are you
NPP
saying
does things, they do it so
Sorry,
glaringly.
I'm sorry.
So
So I don't understand what's going on. It's like I'm having to battle
Ikea,
two people, which
are
is
you-
not
are
absolutely
you
fair
saying
to me.
that the appointment of Apia Hene, please, Apia Hene, is okay by you?
I don't have the authority to make that decision, so I can't comment on it.
You're not.
What I can say is that we can't sit here and behave like it hasn't happened before. And on the back of that, the MPP was not able
What
to
hasn't
win the
happened? No, but
election.
are you conceding?
We can't say that because of that, every other thing they said is credible. You are saying about 200,000 plus have been moved around. The voters register has been exhibited, no? So you would expect everybody to go and check. I checked. Now the EC has made it. To back the proactive statement I made about the EC, if they are making it difficult for people to see if their votes have been transferred, why make it as simple as using a USSD code now? That's how I checked mine. I didn't go back to Kumasi to check whether my vote was there. So these 200,000.
So everybody can use it.
Yeah, you can. There's a I just don't remember what.
Everybody.
No, I'm saying you can also go to the exhibition center and check. I'm saying that they've gone an extra mile to make it easier for people to check. So if these 200,000 people truly are there, why haven't they come out? That is a curious question I have.
The people should come out.
No, if you go to a place,
Do you
what's
know
the purpose
how many
of a voters
people
exhibition?
in our
Please,
villages
please,
know?
No,
please,
allow
please,
her.
please. How many people? What's the point of a voters exhibition? So on the back of everything these people have said in 2016, you know the mindset they have. So let's look at it through that lens. You know the mindset they have to be able to estimate what might be going on. What's the point of exhibiting a voters register? So that you go and check if everything is correct, if you are voting where you are supposed to vote. That's the point of it. And the exhibition was done. So if truly 200,000 people had been misplaced, you think we wouldn't hear about it now?
The MPP.
No, so if you are saying that they can't find their name in the register, then how would they vote? This is not a matter of elitism.
That's the question.
No,
that's the question.
No, if they can't find their name on the election day, then how would they go and exercise their franchise? The same way they went to register, the same way they can be able to go and check. So if these people exist, they would have come out. 200,000 people is not a small number.
Ghana is not a crowd.
It's not a small number.
Ghana is not a crowd. Can I just say something? And just to correct him, throwing Amadou Sule's name into the fray. He is a career.
Annie, please correct the record. Amadou Sule was a career employee of EC. He worked at the EC since he graduated university. Correct that.
Unnecessary equalization.
Sorry. Then Mansa Musa says, good morning, Annie, from Mansa Musa from UK. The question is, why are these security breaches at Ghana's EC not being treated with any degree of seriousness? This should not be the case. In the UK, a theft at the Electoral Commission headquarters, the whole premises would be tested as a crime scene, and then treated as a crime scene, you mean? And then the Metropolitan Police will treat every staff member at the EC as suspect. And what is happening in Ghana completely is wrong. Mansa Musa sent that in. Gaiji says that, but this will go against the NDC. That is stop the 8. Because if we are to stop the 8, then it means that NDC should be stopped. I'm sorry. It means that NDC should be stopped because they are number 8. Stop the 8 and break the 8. And in 2016, former President John Dramani Mahama picked the 3rd position, and the NDC phrased John 3:16 as their tagline. GDM picks 8 in 2024, John 8:24. And I read, I told you that you would die in your sins if you do not believe that I am He, and you will indeed die in your sins. No. You are not listening. If you were listening, you would have agreed to this message. Yes, you are not listening. Sorry, because it's from an MPP person. No, sorry. So, Mark from you, exactly. Mark from USA says that. Sorry, you are. Auto defense. Mark from USA says, good morning, Annie. The umbrella. Sorry. Oh, let me read Mark from USA. Says that the umbrella Shamima is holding has added color to the set. You should be ready with Dr. Amaku release. When Dr. Amaku releases the elephant, I've started running. Please run before the elephant comes into the show.
It just shows the power of the elephant. And to be honest, I think that Ikea should apologize.
Let me talk about it. Let me talk. Just 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute.
That way. NDC communicator.
He's not an open NDC communicator, but he was seen at a strategic meeting for the NDC. What was he doing there? So what I'm saying is that on the back, he was deputy commissioner of the EC. On the back of all of this, if MPP was still able to win the election, it just shows that the electoral commission has no system in place that prevents one person from this platform.
I want to disassociate this platform.
Please do. And Mr. Amadou Sule,
I cannot tag him political because I've not seen him commenting.
You can't apologize on my behalf.
Why?
Can she apologize on my behalf?
I'm apologizing on your behalf.
She can't.
You can dissociate yourself.
You can dissociate yourself, but she can't apologize on my behalf because it is there that he was in a meeting. It's reported. And the point of what I'm saying, if you would let me land, you would get where I'm going with this. Is that in spite of this person being supposedly seen as an NDC member, present at retreats for Professor Mills in 2016, the MPP was still able to win the election. So to be able to sit here and think one person will be able to alter the outcome of an election, just like the people in the NDC have said in 2016. I think that's the only thing in the comments they made in 2016 that I agree with. That it's not possible for one person to subvert the it's not that we have very robust systems in place.
Yeah, so instead of chasing criminals, they're chasing Oliver Barker-Vormawor. But we didn't have a lot of time. However, there's a lot going on with the Democratic Hub. Felicity Nelson, one of the conveners, were told the police arrested her. Wow. And then they're also on a manhunt for Oliver Barker-Vormawor. I don't know if they've gotten him now, but the protest is still ongoing. It's about Galamsey. We didn't have a lot of time to talk about Galamsey, but it is Galamsey, and all of us are really not happy about the Galamsey. We use different forms to address the issues when it comes to protests.
How they can lie? I would quickly, in the 2012 elections period, I was supposed to be one of the moderators. I told you about that. I heard that there was a protest about me being on the presidential debate because they saw me, that somebody said they saw me at an NDC strategy meeting at NDPC. I have shared this story on KSM Show, which was a big fat lie. I was only at NDPC. The ones at a program that was had a visiting lecturer from Canada who was there to speak to all the directors. There was media coverage at that program. And because of that, there was a protest. And I was not put on the presidential debate, and rather put on the vice presidential debate. Parties invite officers all the time to do education on processes.
Especially at a 5-day retreat. And this is it. So if you need evidence for it, it's a written story.
So what is she conceding?
No,
Can I just finish my point? You see,
I'm not conceding.
What is she conceding? Because when we raised the issue of these individuals, known MPP people in the Electoral Commission, she said she didn't know. After we played the voice to her, she's still pleading innocence. And then her counter is to come and tell us that Amadou Sule too was at an NDC. What are you conceding to? So are you now conceding that, yes, it may be that these MPP people are at here, but
I'm not conceding.
What about Amadou Sule? Mr. Amadou Sule, we apologize for this. Is what
you
MPP
apologize.
does.
Speak for yourself,
you know,
my dear.
they always seek equalization, and to think about that.
Look, Annie, 5-day retreat.
She
What
went
is the deputy electoral commissioner doing at a 5-day retreat?
Can I finish? She went quoting His Excellency John Dramani Mahama at a time that we knew that the EC generally was very credible. Look at things they have said. In 2015, NPP requests international audit of new voters register. IEA to EC, be proactive, deal with credibility issues. That was Jean Mensah herself. Engage independent body to audit register. These were all comments coming. Christian Council supports new register.
But again, why are you against the audit?
What is your view now? Now, listen,
I was against the audit.
The party is
against
I say it is questionable.
Peace Council to meet EC
over
there was a
word
about
you read
voters
there that
register.
I absolutely
Nana Akufo-Addo in 2015. It is instructive to note.
Reasoning.
Epia, please. It is instructive to note that on March 25th, 2015, President John Mahama, the chairman of ECOWAS, intervened in a political dispute in neighboring Togo by requesting the postponement of the election originally scheduled for April 15 to May 25. His intervention was in response to calls from Togo. Let me just finish this. The peaceful acceptance of the election results by stakeholders in Togo is indicative of how appropriate the president's intervention was. Clearly, what is good for Togo must be good for Ghana. This is him trying to impugn the credibility of the Electoral Commission. Look, Samia Oku told people that Kennedy Japan said about Charlotte Osei that the Electoral Commission. No, they said all of these things. Which NDC people have you seen?
I think she is missing the point of what I said. What I said is looking at what Mahama said. You are implementing your blueprint. That is what I said.
I'm saying that don't repeat.
How does this happen?
I kept quiet when the girl was talking. Let me finish. Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, our investigative team obtained the Togo voters register, which publicly displayed prior to the 2015 Togolese election using facial biometric recognition technology. This was when they raised issue that we had Togolese. And then NDC opened up to the audit. Justice VCRAC Crab, God bless him, he went into the matter and said there was no enough grounds to merit the call for a new voters register, and that EC should go into this matter and then, correct these anomalies. Okay. This is a response. This is a woman that you denigrated, insulted, which NDC person
you have set out a blueprint for where you are losing, and you are following the blueprint. That is all we are pointing out. Blue is really your color anyway.
The intransigence of the NPP, they have destroyed all public institutions, eroded public accountability institutions for their selfish interests. And then they don't want to talk, they will not concede. Please, dear Ghanaians, fair-minded Ghanaians, this is the character of the NPP administration. When they're in opposition, it's not good enough. When they're in power, it's the same thing. Okay, they will never concede anything. And we are just saying, I'm just saying that we have not even done we've not even addressed Jinesa the way they did to Charlotte Osei.
We've been at this for a very long time.
Please,
I will just wrap
reject
up by
the New Patriotic Party for the destructive party.
What we are doing so far in our campaign.
Shamima, allow her.
How does an elephant anyway? All of those. I've noticed that the NDC is more about show and tell, optics. That's what they seem to be very good at. Not the bread and butter issues, just as is being discussed here. The point of everything I said was that it looks like, based on what they said, they are implementing the same thing.
Allow people to. No, allow.
So you haven't eaten today. You haven't eaten today, Shamima. Is that what you are saying? Yesterday you didn't eat 3 square meals a day, and your husband didn't eat, and your kids didn't eat. Let's not do this.
Shamima.
Let's not do this. All the NDC does is we are hungry. We are hungry in an attempt to scaremonger and do this. Stolen which money? Today you prove which money we've stolen. If not, we will not leave here. That's all they do, to distract from the fact that their campaign is in chaos, their candidate is not sellable, and they have no new ideas for the people of Ghana. So all they do is this. Nobody has eaten. Nobody has eaten. Viewers, please tell me yesterday, 10 of you picked 10 people out. How many of you did not have food? Let's stop this and be honest. No, it's just a song of that's singing a song of people are hard. Yes, things are hard. We are not taking away from the fact that things are hard, and we need to work to improve.
You are taking away.
That's why we are saying bring Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia in so that we can be able to move forward. Not the person who has been there before. No, he's the vice president. Let's stop there. He's already in. Then Mahama has no right coming back because he has already been president. What else is he coming to do? He has nothing else to do. He's been there before. His management of the economy when there were no external shocks was shambolic. How do we bring him back and expect that he will be able to move us out of this situation we are in? So the people of Ghana, do not be hoodwinked by the stories of the NDC. There's no way they can do better. They have no plans. If they come and ask them, how are you going to improve their economy? They will have nothing to say. Is it Gary and Wache at midnight that you are going to?
All right, and on this interesting note, we'll close the show. Thank you. And thank you, Shamima.
Both John Mahama, vote the NDC parliamentary
So the NDC has a crucial press conference today, and it still has to do with the Electoral Commission and its issues. They'll register, and it's at 4. So we'll get the details of it and let's see how far they will go with it. Thanks for coming late.
She's coming. She's coming.